23. It's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be diving into basically every funding option that you can tap into this year to be able to get money to grow your business. It doesn't matter if you're a startup, if you have bad credit, maybe you're looking for millions of dollars or multi-millions of dollars for expansion. We are going to decode all of the options available for you today for debt financing, credit lines, loans, even corporate credit. It's all going to happen right now. So if you're looking to get money for your business, well, you are in the right place, because today we're talking about the proven strategy to access the best funding you need to start and grow your business. Look, to me, it's not enough that you just get a bunch of funding options through today's training. I'm actually going to teach you what you need to know to get the best terms, which means the most money, higher approvals, and lower interest rates and longer terms. So basically, this is the formula to not only just get access to all the funding options for 2023, but tap into those funding options in a way where you get the most money at the best terms for your business. We're also going to provide a comprehensive outline of what you need to know to successfully finance your business. Look, there's still a lot of business owners out there that think they can't get what they need. They've got barriers like previous denials or credit issues, or they don't want to provide a personal guarantee, or they want millions of dollars and don't think they can get it. But today, I'm going to provide the comprehensive outline of exactly how you can get it. And it might be even involves strategies a lot of people don't know about, like stacking is one of the strategies we'll talk about today, to actually stack multiple different types of funding programs as a way to get yourself even more money. We're going to basically take the guesswork out of financing your business in 2023. So if that's what you're looking to do, you're in the right place. Look, there's a lot of stuff going on out there in the funding space. I call it the cash access problem, because the reality is there's more funding out there for you than there ever has been before. But the problem with that is it's overwhelming. You probably have no idea what funding program or funding source will work best for you. So we're going to just take the guesswork out of that today. In one training, you're going to get all the knowledge that you need to be able to successfully fund your business this year. Now, if you've been turned down, maybe you got turned down before and you don't know why you've been turned down, we're going to take the guesswork out of that. We're going to talk about what causes the majority of denials, what causes approvals to not be as high as they should be, and we're going to fix that so you can get more money at better terms. If you want to spend your time growing your business and not chasing funding, we're going to be talking about that as well. Look, you might be somebody that says, look, I know I need a loan for my business. Now I'm going to sit down and go to the Google and try to figure out how to get it. And if you've ever been down that rabbit hole, you could sit there for hours and hours and still not have answers about the options that work best for you. It could be overwhelming. So what we're going to do is have you work on growing your business, and we're actually going to come in and teach you how to get the money so you don't have to chase that funding. And if you want it all in one place, so if you just want to simplify it, you don't want to constantly be going through this struggle every time you need money. You just need access to the experts and the actual funding programs and everything when you need it on demand. Then we're going to be talking about that today, how you could just get funding on demand whenever you want to, the easiest way for you to actually be able to tap into all the funding that's out there. So look, I've got multiple things happening today. Simultaneously, I'm hosting a webinar and I'm hosting live streams, multi-streaming across a bunch of channels from Facebook to YouTube to LinkedIn. So I will get to your questions. I'm going to get to them in the end of the training. I'm going to stick around to make sure they're answered. As you can imagine, reviewing all the funding options is going to take me a little bit of time. So I want to get to that. But if you don't mind, if you're coming in, give me a shout out. I always love to hear where you're coming in from. So if you give me a shout out, and tell me even your name, your business name, where you're coming in from, I'll give you a shout out right here on the stream, maybe throughout this. And then at the end, I will as well. So give me a shout out, tell me where you're coming in from, and it helps me understand the industry that you're in so I could better speak to you and make this relevant to you and your business. Now, if you are sticking around to the end of this training, not the Q&A. If you just stay to the end of this training before the Q&A, then you are going to get this bonus or these bonuses worth over $500, 30 days of free business credit monitoring with Dun Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian, the three major reporting agencies. We're going to do a finance assessment, take the guesswork out of this. We're going to talk about business credit building, the financing you can get now, what's holding you back with fundability from getting approved. And then again, that incorporates a funding qualification just to take all the guesswork out. So you can just have a short conversation with somebody and say, hey, here's my scenario. And they say, here's all the funding you can get. So at the end of this training, I'm going to teach you how to get all of this at absolutely no cost if you're sticking around to the end before we get to the actual Q&A. So here's a little bit about me. I've got over 2 decades of experience in this industry. I've been known as the grandfather of the industry. I guess I'm getting old because I see so many young bucks out there teaching the stuff, which I love because not a lot of people were teaching the stuff when I got into this in the beginning, especially with YouTube. So I've been doing this for a long time. I speak about this worldwide. I'm all over the place. I was in Atlanta, Georgia. I was in Arizona just in the last few weeks. I was in Utah. So I'm all over the place speaking about this. I've actually authored 2 of the best-selling books on consumer and commercial credit, Perfect Credit and Business Credit Decoded. And I'm really seen as an authority. So you'll see me on Fox, ABC, NBC news stations, Forbes, Inc., Entrepreneur. I've been featured in all of those. I'm even a contributor, and Credit Suite's a contributor to those magazines as well. And I have the honor of overseeing the largest business credit partner division in the United States. And what that means is it means a lot of the loan brokers that you see out in the space, we're the one behind the scenes doing the servicing for them. We're the ones that handle their financing. We're the ones that handle the servicing of business credit. About 8 or so out of 10 people you'll talk to out there in the space, especially business credit, we're the one doing the work behind the scenes. They're out actually offering our product white label. So the reason I tell you this is that I have a ton of experience to go through this with you today. And that's the only reason I even mention these things and mention these things about Credit Suite, because I see a lot of overnight gurus come on and talk about their own personal experience. But the problem with that is that anybody's personal experience is going to be different than yours. And what I bring you today is a combination of what we've learned helping over 50,000 business owners through the process of getting business credit financing. And we're pretty well known for it too. Best entrepreneur company in America by Entrepreneur Magazine. Hundreds of testimonials that you'll find on our actual website, video and written. A+ with the BBB, Inc. 5000 the last 3 years. So again, Credit Suite, we have a ton of experience and knowledge here to be able to share. And I only tell you this just so you know that I'm credible and that I can actually have the topic with you today. This isn't something I just learned. This is something that we do every single day. So let's talk about the problem to begin with. Look, business financing is complex. And if you've ever been turned down before, I'm curious, have you ever been turned down for credit or financing? If you have been, type a yes right now in the chat. I'm curious to see how many people have been affected by this problem. So if you've been turned down, I'm really interested to see. Give me a shout out and a yes in the comments. So look, if you've been turned down, it could be for any number of different reasons. Okay, maybe they have all your deposits, but they won't give you a loan for growth. So maybe a bank is taking your money, but they won't give you the money that you need. Okay, it's embarrassing if you get turned down, and it can quickly deflate you. You give up hope. I'm really astonished at how many business owners I talk to that apply one time and get denied. And then they're done. They give up. So if this is you, well, then we're going to fix this today, because this is one of the biggest problems I see with people trying to get money. And where do you go when the bank says no? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people try to start with their bank, and the bank is the last place you should ever start to try to get funding. Don't get me wrong. Well, as we'll talk about today, the bank has its place in the funding process, but it's at the end. It's when you're many years into a well-established business, not where you're actually going to start. We see a lot of people here are saying yes. Michelle's got that problem. Mavis has got that problem. JD, Jarena, that's TJ75, Tim in the house, Lillian. So again, the interesting thing is a lot of us have been turned down, as I'm seeing here, for financing. And the worst part is we don't know why. Like, the lenders don't even tell us why we're turned down. I'm really big, and you are too as an entrepreneur, that like, if I understand what's causing the problem, I can fix the underlying issue and like not have the problem again, right? But the problem with banks is they don't even tell us why they're turning us down. So we don't even fix the underlying approval to usually correct it. We're going to decode all of that today as well. So look, lack of financing can stagnate your growth. You already know that. Most businesses fail due to lack of funding. The 2 biggest reasons that business owners fail is, one, they don't have the money to keep afloat. It is directly linked to money. And the second is that business owners make mistakes, and the business can't recover from those mistakes. And what's interesting is that financing fixes both of those. Like, look at Twitter. You know, Twitter had so much money, cash in hand, being a publicly owned company, they could continue to lose money for over 100 years and still stayed afloat. Well, normally businesses like us, we can't do that. We can't even go 100 days where we've got interruption to our cash flow and typically survive. So we've got to have the cash we need, especially when we deal with unexpected or unprecedented times like what we're seeing. Record high inflation. Interest rates are skyrocketing over the last year and a half, and they continue to go up. Okay. Income is staying the same or going down. There's mass layoffs. So all of this makes it harder for us to run our businesses, and we need to have the capital to be able to get through these uncertain times. So growth is exponentially harder without cash injection. And what's interesting is that when I look at companies that raise money from venture capitalists, like they have it good, right? They get millions or tens of millions of dollars, and it gives them that breathing room to grow their business. While people like you and I are maybe kind of doing the equivalent of paycheck to paycheck, especially in the beginning stages. We literally wake up and sometimes cold sweats or panic in the middle of the night because we don't know if we can meet payroll. So there's so many things, or we get a chargeback or something unexpected happens. And I hear these stories all the time. So it's growing is hard without cash. Surviving is even hard without having the money you need. And financing can float you through the ups and downs and get you through these uncertainties. So it's really interesting. I had dinner with one of my really good friends last night, and he's a very successful multi-million-dollar business. And he was talking to me about how they pull all the profit out of the business. They leave $50,000 in the bank account, and all the rest gets distributed out to the actual shareholders. I said, that's crazy, man. And he's trying to scale. I said, you can't do that at scale. One unexpected chargeback, that would wipe out your cash on hand and create panic in the organization. Like, you have to have the money to float through those ups and downs, or at least have access to the credit and financing. And the right business loans put business growth in your hands. And that's what this comes down to. Look, if you're looking to grow your business, give me a shout out. Tell me, yeah, I'm looking to grow my business. Or tell me how much revenue you want to accomplish this year. I'd love to see that. What are you looking to do in revenue? Because more than likely, if you're like me, your revenue goals for this year is not the same as last. You want it to go up. You want to grow. You want to make more money. And business financing makes that possible. And by the way, in that conversation last night, that's exactly what it was with my friend. Is he says, I want to raise $500,000 to $1 million. How do I get it? Because I'm ready to throw gasoline on the fire and take this thing from 2 to 20 million. And so it was the whole conversation about how he can actually get the money that he needs to grow that. So again, even if you have a multi-million-dollar business, you still need the capital to be able to take it to the next level. Now, here's the problem, though. There's hundreds of financing options out there. Okay, we alone work with over 1,000 different funding sources. Imagine trying to navigate on your own over 1,000 funding sources to find the right one for your business. And I've got $1 million here, or $1 million, 100,000 in revenue is the goal. So people are starting to kind of chime in and tell me where they're wanting their business to be. 350,000 in revenue, $200,000, just looking to grow. Yes, $50,000, 100,000, 500,000. So we all want to grow, and we know it takes the capital we need to do so. But the problem is there's too many options, and every one of those options has its own underwriting criteria. So trying to find the best financing can be almost impossible. And I spoke to a really smart group of entrepreneurs where you have to have $1 million in sales to even get in this room the other day. And I was teaching the group about getting money. And as I was sitting at lunch, one of the guys came up to me and he said, hey, man, I just got these credit cards, so I guess I don't need business credit. And I said, let me ask you a question. I go, first of all, do those report to the personal or business credit reporting agencies? He had no idea. I said, the second thing is are you positive you got the highest approval you could have gotten? He says, I have no idea. I said, that's the problem. And so when you go out in the world without that knowledge, you really don't know these kind of things, including the fact that did you get the most money? Did you get the best terms? And trying to navigate without the education just makes it almost impossible. And doing it alone really costs you unnecessary time and money. You spend a lot of time wasted trying to figure it out, and then you don't get as much money as you really deserve to have actually gotten. So it's a lot for you to handle, especially since you're busy, because your business can hinge on proper financing, and it can make or break your company. And you need to get it right the very first time. So knowing all of your options just empowers you to get the money you need in 2023 so you can get back to working on the business. Look, I have a to-do list. That's how I run my life. And every night I finish my day by putting together my objectives for the next day. And anybody that's looked at doing this you know that you prioritize the things that have the biggest impact on your list first. So the reality is a lot of you may have getting money on your list and it's a top priority, but then we tend to push that and procrastinate the stuff that takes the considerable amount of work to accomplish. And even beginning to navigate this maze on your own is almost impossible, which is exactly why we're talking about it today. But if you have the right knowledge, well, then it's like provides a crystal clear path to getting the money that you need. So you can find out what financing you can qualify for right now and the financing you maybe can't get right now, but you can put in the back of your head as your map to get you further. We specialize in helping clients become SBA ready, we say. So we say, we'll get you the money you need now, and then let's help you build your business to play the point where it needs to be to get SBA financing and the larger amounts and lower term financing that's out there in the future. So maybe you can't get that right now. Well, then let's get you all the money you can get now, and let's then have a plan or a path to get additional financing as you grow. And what all this does is it just basically takes the guesswork out of the entire process. So in order to do it, here's really what we got to look at. We've got to first, and we're not going to talk about this first, but we will talk about this today, setting up your business where it's fundable. The bottom line is I'll give you an idea, example of this. I sat on a forum in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace. Big group. I'm at a forum, and I don't even know how I got on this thing because it's all bankers. I was even introduced as a banker. I'm like, I'm the anti-banker, not the banker. But these were all bankers next to me. And these guys were answering questions from the audience about getting money and also talking to other loan brokers about getting money. And they talked about where they got all this data and how they looked at the borrowers and they looked at the previous companies they owned and they looked at the other companies they were associated with and their EIN and all this data. And the reality is I spoke up. I said, guys, every one of these people on this panel has told you about the secret data they're getting. I go, the secret is LexisNexis. That's where they're all getting it from. They're not going to tell you that, but that's exactly where they're getting it from. And I don't think the bankers were happy with me. And I looked at each one of them and they're like, yeah, you're right. You're right. The whole bottom line is there's this boys club in the banking industry where they clearly understand why you can't get approved and what you need to do to get approved, but they don't tell you what that is. Well, I'm going to pull back the curtain and do what exactly upset those bankers in Las Vegas. I'm just going to pull back the curtain and tell you. I'll tell you the bureaus that they pull that they don't want you to know about. I'll tell you exactly what their approval formula is. We got to figure that out. I can give you the 5 best loan options that work for your business. But if you don't know how to get approved, then you can apply for all of them and get denied. Then you get frustrated and quit. That doesn't work for me. I need you to know what options work best for you and get approved. So we're going to decode that today. We're also going to talk about building business credit. It's one of the criteria that you really want to tap into because business credit is a way to fund your business if you can't get any other kind of money. But if you can get other money, business credit's the key to getting the most money at the best terms. So we're going to decode that today. We're going to talk about strategically planning all of your lending options to get the money you can get now, and then knowing the right time to get the rest of the options that are out there. And again, I'm just going to decode what's helped 50,000 business owners under our tutelage. That sounds good. Tutelage. I'm going to go with tutelage. Help 50,000 business owners. This is what we've learned. I'm going to give you the condensed version so you can actually come out there and succeed. Now, here's what it looks like when you get it right. I'm not going to read all this to you. Maybe I will, but I'll give you a highlight of Christine's testimonial because as I can see, it's really big. So Christine basically owns a transportation company. Her and her husband owned it for about 20 years. And actually, she said they started to own their business because of freedom, and they didn't have to worry about clocking in and clocking out. Maybe you can actually relate to that. Okay. And ultimately, she came to us because they tried to get money. They tried to build business credit at 3 different places and failed. And then as she says here, when they actually got started with us, we walked them properly through the process. When she wrote this, she'd secured over $800,000 in money without a personal credit check, without a personal credit guarantee, with credit issues, being denied everywhere. Now today, she's well over $1 million in funding. So I pull this to you because I provide this to you because this is a very typical scenario we deal with of somebody that comes to us deflated because they can't get money. Then we put them on the right path. And here's somebody that in writing this got $800,000 in funding and has now secured over $1 million in credit for a business, not even to talk about the loans and credit lines. So this is what happens when you really go in and you get it right. So let's talk about small business loans, okay? Because this is flexible funding for you to be able to actually grow your business. And I love this. JD says, hey, I'm a new entrepreneur with a master plan. I only need 10K and I don't care if the rate is high. Just need to get approved. Okay, perfect. We're going to talk about options that will work for brand new startup businesses just like you today as well, JD. Okay, so let's talk about the financing. So first of all, here's a formula I created maybe 7 years ago, and it really simplifies what it takes to get money. So there's three main things that lenders look at, and I call it the 3 C's. I actually call this the 3 C's cash acquisition formula. If you want to acquire cash, you just need to knock this. You just need to know this. Then it's just going to really take this vast world of financing and condense it to this very small world of what works for you. And the 3 C's are this: cash flow, credit, and collateral. And here's how this formula works. If you want an SBA loan, for example, if you want to go get $500,000, millions of dollars, 5-6% interest, low interest rate, long term, lot of money, you got to have all three of these. We've got to have cash flow, verifiable with tax returns, a good personal and business credit. We need collateral as well. So that's the end goal of where we all need to get, we want to get to. Now, when you get this right, I'll give you an example. We went and got a loan last year. It's still sitting in our bank. We got the loan because we knew rates were going to go up and we wanted to get it before it happened. 3 weeks to get an SBA loan, 3 weeks from applying and the money in our bank account. That's what you can do by the end of this training. You're going to understand the formula to do it. And that's the epitome of what we all want to get to. Hey, I need money, SBA, give me $500,000. Boom, 3 weeks later, money is there. But in order to do that, you have to have all three of these C's. And that's exactly why you don't walk into a bank. Banks are government insured. So what happens is they have to be very conservative with their risk. So 9 out of 10 times they give money to a small business is through SBA. And SBA needs all three of these. And new businesses like JD mentioned, just getting JD's launched, JD doesn't have an established business. So if you don't have years of tax returns and profits and money in the bank and good corporate and consumer credit, you don't even want to try your bank. That's the last place you want to go. So where do we want to go? What we want to do is we want to focus on these C's and see which one we have. You see, the beautiful thing about this formula is you only need one C and not the other two. So that means if I just have cash flow here and I don't have credit or collateral, I'm still able to get approved. If I have good personal credit, then I can get approved without cash flow, without collateral. If I have collateral, then I don't need credit or cash flow to get approved. You get the idea. I only need one C to fund my business, not the other two. And if I have none of the C's, that's when I can rely on business credit to give me a C to make me fundable. So this formula is really simple because it's a way to know exactly the way you can get money, how to get money, and it's a way that anybody can get money, because even if you don't have a lendable merit, then create one, which is business credit, right? And that's how I really show business credit. It's like if you don't have a lendable merit because you don't have cash flow, maybe you're a startup, maybe your credit's bad because you're a risk taker, you're an entrepreneur, you take risks, your credit reflects that. You don't have any assets as collateral. Well, it's going to be really tough to get money, but now we create a lendable merit, which is business credit, use it to fund our business. And in doing so, we become more fundable to lenders. So I'm going to walk you through this formula, but I just want to give you an overview because this is really the basis of getting the money that you need. So first of all, are there small business loans for a small business or a startup? Yeah, there's a ton of options out there based on the strength, cash flow, credit, or collateral. If we don't have one, we create it by creating business credit. There's actually hundreds of alternative business lenders that offer flexible funding. So here's what's happened. Back in the day, SBA accounted for 90% of all funding in small businesses. Now it's flipped over the last decade, and now 90% plus of all financing comes from alternative lenders, not SBA. So what's happened as a society of entrepreneurs is that we went from very few qualifying and having to be able to have all this perfect established business to be able to get money to now it's flipped where most businesses can get money. Startups, we'll talk about startup SBA loans today. Most people don't even know you can get SBA loans as a startup. You can. So now there are options for business owners through alternative financing that gets you money, even if you're a startup, even if you have credit, even if you're looking for millions of dollars and your bank only give you hundreds of thousands. So there's all these options out there that are available because 90% of money is now coming from one of these alternative lenders that only focuses on one C, not the others. Now, these lenders give less established business the ability to get fair financing. Okay, and that's what happens. All of a sudden, we went from very few business owners being able to get financing to now the majority can if you know the kind of financing to go after and where to look. Now, you can get financing even if your bank has told you no, because again, your bank is probably the wrong place to be looking for to begin with. And if you were told no, it just means you're looking for the wrong kind of financing. You need to look for financing you can get, not financing that's based on factors you don't have, like good credit that you may not have or cash flow that you may not have because you're just a startup, for example, for things along that line. So again, just taking a look. I am going to make sure that everybody's questions are answered. But again, I'm probably going to stick around to the end, but I always check in on comments, questions. So if you see me glance over to my other screen, that's what I'm doing. So let's talk about this first C. It's financing based on cash flow. So what's nice about this is personal credit doesn't matter. Low personal credit scores are fine. As a matter of fact, a lot of lenders don't even look at our personal credit scores. They don't care. And other ones that do most of them have a 500 FICO score minimum requirement. So this really caters to people that have credit issues and people that don't. Okay, the first financing we ever got was this. My credit was good at the time. Don't get me wrong. I've had my share of horrible credit through my life, especially when my mortgage company failed. So I've been there. But at this point, my credit was good. And the nice thing is I got an 8% interest rate when most people get 30% interest. So again, this works good for you if you have good credit as well. But if you have bad credit, this is a great kind of financing that works for you. Now, the lender is going to typically want to see 6 months worth of consistent cash flow. So the documentation they're going to ask for is your bank statements. Show me your bank statements, and we want to see consistent cash flow coming through that bank account every month. And preferably, we want to see the revenue stay stable or increase. They don't want to see declining revenue. That's not the one thing that gives them confidence to lend you money. So we want to see consistent revenue. And you can typically get a line of credit or you can get a loan with this kind of financing. Now, I say loan or installment loan loosely because the reality is if you really want to drill this thing down, not to get overly complicated, you're actually selling your future revenue at a discounted rate. That's actually how it's defined. It's not really even a loan. But for simplification, it's kind of like a loan or a credit line. You can really have both options. And this is super fast, easy money. Okay, this is the fastest money you're going to get. We have funded clients in 24 hours to be able to meet payroll. And you're able to get $500,000 in this kind of funding. And it's very fast. And it's very easy if your bank account makes sense. Like if you're not overdrawing your bank account, you have positive ending bank balance. Like if somebody looks at your bank account and sees a well-run business, then you're going to typically be approved for this kind of financing. Now, there's a lot of lending options available here. First, we look at business revenue lending. This is very simple. We're just going to look at 3 to 6 months worth of bank statements. If the bank statements make sense, if the revenue's there, you could typically get 15 to 20% of whatever your annual revenue is just by verifying the bank statements. Now, the alternatives to this is PayPal, Square, and Stripe. I love you. If anybody from PayPal, Square, and Stripe's on here, I love you. You make financing so simple. And PayPal, Square, and Stripe, I always recommend clients that if you're not accepting customers' payments through one of these platforms, you should be, because they make it easier than any other option I've ever found to get money. PayPal, Square, and Stripe lend you $200,000, $300,000, even $500,000. They don't care about personal credit quality. And oftentimes they will approve you if you just have 3 to 6 months worth of money going through there. But what I like about PayPal, Square, and Stripe beyond that is they'll lend you 30% of whatever you finance through them. So if I'm financing $10,000 a month through PayPal, Square, and Stripe, they'll give me $3,000, for example. Or, actually, if I'm doing $120,000 a year through there, they give me $30,000 on that. I don't know what I was just saying. So bottom line is, of whatever your annual revenue is, I'll give you 30%. So we've got revenue lending. A lot of the lenders out in the space. If you see an ad on Google, when you look for a business loan, if you see an ad on Facebook that says something like, do you have $10,000 a month or more in revenue, they are selling you a revenue lending loan. That's the ding, 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 clearest indicator that somebody is talking about this product. If they say, do you have $10,000 a month in revenue? That's the typical normal requirement for this. Although lenders are out there that will go as low as $5,000 a month in revenue. And again, they want you to be in business about 6 months or longer. PayPal, Square, and Stripe are some great options that work for you. Fundbox, although Fundbox is retracting. I see this in our Facebook group. Everybody's getting their credit lines pulled with Fundbox. Fundbox is in trouble right now. They're not doing too well, but Blue Vine is doing good. And Blue Vine is a credit line based on your revenue. So as you can see, man, we just went through a lot of options just with this. A lot of lenders will lend you money based on revenue. They'll do a loan or they'll do a credit line. Then we got PayPal, Square, and Stripe, who will lend you up to 30% of what you process with them annually. Then we've got credit lines linked to revenue, like we talk about places like Blue Vine as well. Merchant cash advances. Now, very similar here to revenue lending. Here's the difference. Revenue lending will lend you money based on what comes into your bank account. They're looking at cash. They're looking at check deposit. They're looking at any money that comes into that bank account. Merchant cash advances, or what are known as MCAs, only look at credit card transactions. And they typically only really look at Visa, MasterCard, and Discover. Amex is kind of something separate. Now, Amex offers MCAs you can get just through American Express. But if you're processing credit cards and a lot of your customers' payments come from credit cards, then you want to look at merchant cash advances. They're easier to get than revenue lending. They typically only want you to be in business for 6 months. A lot of revenue lending lenders want you to be in business for 1 year. There are some exceptions to that. Merchant cash advances, they only want you to have $5,000 a month in revenue. The norm for revenue lending is $10,000 a month in revenue. Now, I'm telling you a lot of norms, but let me expand off that. There's also what we call in lending compensating factors. So if I tell you that revenue lending usually wants $10,000 a month in revenue, I can also tell you that we see people approved with $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month in revenue all the time because they have other strengths to compensate for not meeting the revenue requirement. So for any of these norms I talked to you about, there's always exceptions to the rules. I'm just trying to give you a baseline of what the normal qualifications are for these actual industries. There are always exceptions. Purchase order financing. So this is where maybe people are giving you purchase orders so that if you can actually have the money to fill those purchase orders, you can sell your product. I see this all the time. So somebody comes out, they get a commitment from somebody to buy X amount of dollars of stuff from them, and then they can use those commitments, those purchase orders, those POs to be able to get the money they need that then they can use to fulfill those POs and actually deliver the product and get paid. So this is a really cool kind of financing because if you're getting commitments from people and purchase orders, well, then you can get the money you need to then actually produce the product that you need to be able to fulfill those purchase orders. So very good, especially in a starter stage of a business when you're just getting commitments, but you need the money to fulfill on those commitments. AR financing, account receivables. This is one of my favorite kind of financing because what you're doing is you're letting your customers pay you on terms. Let me give you an example. At Credit Suite, we help business owners get business credit financing, and we do so through multiple forms of software. Our newest rollout is going to be called Fundability. You'll see that in the months to come in our business finance suite. So when somebody comes in and wants to buy from us, and they don't have the money to buy all of it right now, then we basically let them finance it over, let's say, 7 to 9 months. Taking a set amount of money and letting them finance it over a period of time, it creates an account receivable. Now that person owes us that money that they're going to pay back over time, and that is an asset we can leverage to be able to actually get money. As a matter of fact, this is the number one asset used to qualify for SBA loans. So there's a lot of things I like about this. First of all, what's nice about AR financing, you just make it simple for your customers to pay you, right? That's what we're doing here. We're coming in and letting our customers pay instead of one lump sum over time, which means we can attract more customers because we made it easier for them to buy. The other thing is that we have an asset that we could borrow against and be able to get money. So we let the customer pay over time, but the lender will pay us the majority of the account receivable right away, like within a day. Once we're approved with AR financing, they'll give us up to 90% of whatever we sold that thing for in 24 hours. So let me give you a simple example here. Let's just say it's $1,000. I sell something for $1,000. And let's say I let the person pay $200 for over 5 months. Well, this makes it super easy for the client to buy. Maybe they don't have $1,000, but they can easily pay me $200 over 5 months. So now I attract more customers because I found a way to make it easy for them to actually be able to afford it. But then I go to my AR lender and I give them the actual order and show, hey, this person is committed to pay $1,000 over 5 months. The AR lender will give me 900 of that $1,000 the next day. So my client's paying over 5 months, and the lender gave me 900 of the $1,000 the next day. So I get dual benefit. The client, I can attract more of them because it's affordable, and I get almost all my money right away. The other 10% of my money gets actually sent to me once the client pays off the entire balance that they have, minus whatever the lender's fees are. So this makes it easier for you to do business. You get an asset that helps you tap into loans like SBA, and you also have a way to be able to finance just because you actually have revenue coming in and you're letting your customers pay that over time. We also have term loans, and term loans are just longer term loans. So if we look at revenue financing, the term of this may be 2 years, a year, 3 years. It's a short term. Term loans are longer term loans, 3 years, 5 years, even longer with SBA loans. So why this is important is that the longer term that we have, the lower our payment will always be. You see, so many business owners are obsessed with interest when you shouldn't be. Your interest rate is based on your risk. If you don't like the interest rate, then lower your risk. Fix your personal credit scores, build business credit, get more collateral that can be served up as assets, have longer time in business. All these things will help your interest rates, right? But what we like about term loans is the longer term you get, it means it's more important to lower payments than any interest rate is. So we want to get long-term loans, and term loans are very popular if you have consistent revenue. Typically, you want to be in business 1 year or more. Oftentimes, they want to see a tax return for the 1 year that you were in business. If you have profits on the tax return, it's even better. And usually 600, 620 type credit scores will get us into term loans. By the way, for purchase orders and financing and account receivables, there are no credit requirements. Credit does not matter for any of this stuff. Term loans may be okay credit is what's needed. Purchase order and AR, they don't even care about your credit. They don't even look at your credit. And no other kind of assets are needed to qualify for any of this kind of financing. It's called unsecured. So usually it's not even secured by anything, except, of course, you need a purchase order to get purchase order financing, an account receivable to get account receivable financing. Then we talk about SBA loans. We already talked about them. You need cash flow, credit, and collateral. You need all three of those. So usually it's for more established businesses, but can work for startups if you have strong personal financials. Maybe you're just buying a business. You can use SBA loans to get up to 90% of the money that you need to buy a business. Okay, one of my mentors tells me, hey, it's easier to buy revenue than it is to build it. Meaning it's easier to go buy a company, for example, that's generating revenue than build a company that generates revenue. Okay, I literally sat and had dinner again last night with another friend, and in his business, he bought a business. So he actually bought an existing business, and that business pays him $500,000 a year is what it actually pays him. Now, again, you can get into those kind of loans with 10% down, and you can use the assets of the business you're buying to even pay the 10% or a seller note. So it's easier to tap into SBA loans to acquire businesses if you have good personal credit and your financials are strong, your personal financials. If you have good personal credit and strong financials, you can even get SBA startup loans. You can get 300, 500,000 or more, millions of dollars in money to launch and start a new business, especially if you have experience in the industry that you're in, and especially if you have good credit and strong financials like personal financials. So some things to keep in mind there as well. Okay, some options that will help you get money. Daniel and Keith says, hey, January I brought in over 7,000 as a contractor sole driver. This month I'm already close to 10,000. So congratulations, man. I love that. And JD says, love Square. I do too. I think Square is such an easy and great place to be able to get money. I love it. That's why I always recommend clients process payments through there. So cash flow financing, really good if you need fast money. Okay, I had this conversation with a guy the other day. I've never had this happen to me before. But this guy actually was referred to me by somebody else. He's texting me over this was Friday afternoon, Friday evening. And I said, how much money do you need? He said, 1.4 million. I said, okay, when do you need it? He goes, by Monday. I was laughing. I was like, wow, that's a tall order. You're not even giving a day, and you need somebody to give you $1.5 million. And I told him, I said, I can actually do 500,000 in a day. But again, I don't know of any way to get 1.4 million in a day. That's going to be a tall order. So, and he never was able to get it because he was insistent he needed 1.4 and he never ended up getting it. But think about that. $500,000 in one business day. Revenue and lending is about cash flow financing, about one of the only ways I've ever seen to be able to do that. So you can get money really fast. I've already told you about one other example where we actually got the client the money they needed to meet payroll. And by the way, that's not the only time that's happened. We've had a lot of clients because you've been there. I've been there. Like, you don't know you're not going to meet payroll until the money comes in the night before. Sometimes it happens, right? The credit card deposits hit. Then you come in and you're like, oh man, I can't meet payroll. And you need that money super quick. Well, this works for all these scenarios where you need money quickly. Maybe you need to take advantage of an opportunity right now. You need the money right now to jump on an opportunity. So there's a lot of opportunities you can think of or scenarios where you need money quick. This is the product. And it's also good for funding bigger short-term projects. So again, if you need money, but you just need it for short term, and you're going to use the money to produce some kind of additional revenue, it works really good for that. Okay. One of our clients had a bottling or a soft drinks company, but he didn't bottle his own drinks. So what happened in that scenario was he had an opportunity to jump quickly and buy a bottling company, and we helped him get this financing to be able to do it. Okay, so he actually used his money to go buy the bottling company, and within a month, that bottling company had improved his margins by 40%. So he made his money back very quickly. It's another example of that. Unexpected expenses that can derail your business, this could work well for. Quick access to capital to boost your sales. Maybe you all of a sudden start running an ad. I had this, I'm literally in the middle of this right now. I ran an ad on Google. I love Google. It's super easy to launch stuff and test it. Started running Google ads and bam, whammo. Massive leads started coming in with very little spend. I was like, whoa. Okay, that'll work. And so now I'm developing scripts and stuff like that within the company to actually see what we can sell from these leads coming in. And within weeks, I'm going to know if this is a home run, which it looks like it is. So now I have a home run. And if I want to go all in, then maybe I want to put 10 grand in instead of $300, which is what I used to do the original test. Okay, that makes sense. So now I want to go all in because it's tested. And I know that if I do it, then I can all of a sudden, 100x, 10x, whatever my results are. That's an example of where we need quick access to capital to be able to boost sales, run a marketing campaign. Let me give you an example of what it's not good for. My science teacher in high school, I saw him post something on Facebook that he needed money because he's in a seasonal business to get through a downtime. I got him on the phone, talked to him. I said, man, this financing you could get, but it's not for you because it's not really good for seasonal businesses. Like, it's good if you're going to use it to buy something that makes you money, but not to get through a down time. And that was it. It was the end of the conversation. Later, I saw him post on Facebook. He was very upset because somebody tried to sell him this product, and he was very insulted because it didn't work for his needs. This isn't the kind of money you get to get through a seasonal business. We'll talk about financing that will, but this is not that financing. So here's a case study here with Dr. Brandon, and I'm not going to read it to you. You can take a snapshot and I'll tell you about it. But he needed $417,000 fairly quick. He was actually shutting down his business because the IRS had a tax lien for $417,000, and they said, I need the money by X. He couldn't get the money. He tried a bank. He tried a bunch of other funding sources. He needed advice from us on shutting down the business. We said, we can do that for you. And we used cash flow financing to get him the not to get him the 400. We got him like 200 grand. And then he used that to pay the IRS and said the rest is on the way. And the IRS backed off and gave him the time he needed to get the rest of the money. And we did. We actually ended up getting him over $1.5 million in total funding because we stacked multiple funding options together. And that's how you get the most amount of money. So I talked to a lot of clients, and this is what's interesting. I've been doing this for decades. And 9 out of 10 times when I talk to a business owner or talk to somebody about getting money, they want more money than they can qualify for. That's a very typical scenario. And so what I tell them is I said, look, if you want to get the most money, you need to stop trying to get it from one source. Your income, your credit, your revenue, these things aren't strong enough to get all that money from one source. What you want to do is you want to stack funding. You want to go get multiple different forms of funding, and then you can get more money that way. So Dr. Brandon, as an example, we got him a program called Credit Line Hybrid, which we'll talk about today. We got him a term loan. We ended up getting him an SBA loan. We ended up getting him revenue lending. And we ended up getting him one or two other kind of financing as well. I think AR financing, because in his practice, They were always waiting for money to come in from insurance companies, and we got them AR financing to get that money right away. So by stacking and getting a multiple forms of financing, then we were able to get him a lot more money. He couldn't even get 417 when he came to the door. We got him the 417. He paid off the IRS. We got a 1.5 million. He opened up a second office for his business, and he ended up even running for political office in his state. So a big turnaround just because he used this kind of financing, cash flow financing, and then stacked other kind of financing. Now let's talk about collateral. Now, when we talk about the biggest categories of funding, this is the biggest. So it's like we've got cash flow financing, then we've got credit-based financing, their options, then we've got collateral-based financing. Like, this is such a massive category because there's so many assets that we can use to qualify for this. Now, the nice thing, the benefits are personal credit does not matter at all. A lot of the financing, they won't even look at your personal credit score. Some of it they will. I'll talk to you about it, but most they won't. Okay, and the financing is secured by an asset. So the lender has all the security because they're taking something that's worth money and collateralizing it that they take back if they don't get paid back. So it actually simplifies the financing. And what's interesting about that is that you can get a line of credit or a loan, but you actually get better rates on this than most other kind of funding. It's kind of bizarre. I mean, like AR financing has a 1.5% factor rate. Some of the financing I'll talk to you about today has 5 to 6% credit lines interest. That's insane. Think about that. Think about your credit being a 450 credit score and getting a 5% interest rate on a credit line. It's legit because you're using an asset as collateral. This is the lowest interest rate financing you're ever going to get. It's lower than SBA. It's lower than anything else out there. If you have something you or somebody else around you can be pledged as collateral, it's going to get you approved no matter a personal credit score and get you really, really, really low rates. Now, it's not as fast as cash flow financing, usually 2 to 3 weeks to get the money, but still a big category to be able to hit. So let's look at equipment financing. We can either do 3 types of equipment financing. One, we can finance equipment. We can also lease equipment. Now, financing is available with bad credit. It's available as a startup business. You could have bad credit, just be launching and get that. Okay, and I'll give you an example. We had a guy that he needed a tree to stumper for a golf course. He was building golf courses, and he needed to pull the big stumps out of the ground, right? Didn't even know a machine existed for that, but apparently it does. And the guy got the highest interest rate I've ever seen. I've never seen somebody pay a high interest rate. It was like 65% interest. It was absurd. But the guy was so excited because his credit was trashed. He knew he was going to not even be able to get financing anywhere. And even at the 65%, the guy wrote off all the interest and got it all back anyways. And he saved $10,000 a month because he actually was able to get a piece of equipment to do what a bunch of manpower was costing him before. So that's just one of crazy example, but it's an example of how even with horrible credit, he was able to come in and get equipment financing. Now, if you've been in business for 1 year, then you can get equipment leasing, which is better interest rates and terms. And the third kind of equipment very few people know about is called equipment sale leaseback. So let's say that you, grandpa, dad, friend, somebody has a piece of equipment that's worth money. Maybe it's a backhoe sitting in grandpa's old backyard, right? Well, you could leverage that piece of equipment you own free and clear to borrow against to get money. One of my buddies, Chip, has a plastics manufacturing company. He needed money. And I walked through his warehouse. I said, do you own all this equipment? He said, yeah, I own it all free and clear. I go, there you go. There's your money. He had inventory too, and we'll talk about that later. But he was able to leverage the equipment he owned to be able to get the money that he actually needed to be able to grow the business. So equipment financing, equipment leasing, equipment sale, leaseback. Okay, another one of my friends was getting a doctor's practice. And pay attention. This is a very common mistake that I see a lot of business owners make. She said, Ty, I need a credit line. I said, what do you need a credit line for? She goes, payroll, marketing, and this big piece of equipment. I said, okay, let's talk about the big piece of equipment. It ends up that we got our equipment financing for that piece of equipment. We got her a credit line and used the credit line to cover the first and last month's payment of the equipment financing. So she didn't have to pay anything for the equipment financing. The credit line paid the little down payment she needed. And then all this credit line was available for everything else. So we want to use specialized financing when we can, which means if I'm going to buy a truck, I don't want to use a credit line to buy a truck. I want to get auto financing for that, right? Even without a personal guarantee, I'll talk about that. If I want to be able to buy a piece of equipment, then I want to use equipment financing for that. If I want to buy inventory, I want to use inventory financing for that. So anytime I can use specialized financing, I want to use it. That way loans and credit lines can be left available for me to use like marketing and payroll and growth and stuff like that. 401k and IRA. If you or someone around you has a 401k or IRA, you're able to borrow as much as 100% of the value of the 401k and IRA without any tax penalties. A 401k is you investing in other publicly owned companies. This allows you to take that part of that money and invest it into your own company. So something to consider, especially if you think that your chance of succeeding in the business is better than what you're doing in the market. I know my parents are getting crushed right now in the market. Many others are. So maybe you are better, feel the chances are better on your own to invest into what you're doing than publicly owned companies. Something to think about. Okay, you also have, and let me see if I have this here. Okay, we'll talk about that. Commercial real estate financing. Financing to buy commercial real estate, refinance, or build. So right now, I've got people building a huge storage unit 2 blocks from me. The storage unit will make millions and millions of dollars a year. They're using commercial real estate financing to build that storage unit. I have a bunch of people in that space. I have a bunch of other clients that are paying rent. Now they go get this. They buy the building that they're in, and now they don't have to pay rent. They have a mortgage payment, but then the other people they rent the additional space to gives them enough income where now that covers the mortgage payment. So they went from having a $4,000 a month rent payment to now making $2,000 a month in profit. So think about it. That's a $6,000 swing. They went from paying $4,000 to now paying, that goes away. Now the rent pays the mortgage payment, and the rent has $2,000 more than the mortgage payment is. So now they're making $2,000 when they were cost $4,000 before. A lot of people are doing this right now. Where they're actually buying the real estate they're in, and then they're leasing the additional space to other people, and they're turning it into an income center, a profit center, instead of it being an expense. Not to mention there's commercial real estate flipping. There's so many things you can do with commercial real estate. This is a great kind of financing. Now's the time to flip residential real estate. Okay, this is a huge opportunity because with residential real estate, properties are in decline right now. Interest rates are up. Okay, we're seeing people pull back from buying. So you have an opportunity now with prices dropping to buy a property to flip, and you can get 100% of the money you need to fix and flip properties through what's called house flipper financing, also called house reseller financing, fix and flip financing. It goes by a lot of names. Concept's the same. 100% of the money you need to buy and flip a property you can get even if you don't have experience. Pretty cool. Inventory financing. I love this. This is the newest wave of financing we've seen over the last year. I used to be the only one that talked about this because there was only one lender in the country that did it. And that lender still does it. You could get the money you need to buy inventory or borrow against inventory you have and get a loan or credit line. But the newest wave is crowdfunding inventory. So let's say that you have an e-commerce store. Maybe you sell on Amazon. Your biggest expense is your inventory. You can get the money you need to buy the inventory that you sell online. 100% of the money that you need to buy inventory you can get from outside funding. A lot of times it's done through crowdfunding. One of my favorite funding sources for this, Kick Further, will fund it in like same day. Same day you'll get funding from the crowd. Now, they all have a little bit of different requirements of whether you need to have sales before or not. But the bottom line is if you're thinking about selling anything online or anything that you have a physical inventory for, you need to know you can get money to buy that inventory or borrow against inventory you already have. My buddy Chip has that warehouse. He had shelves and shelves of inventory he owned free and clear. I'm like, Chip, this is ridiculous. No wonder you're looking for money. All of your money is right here in your equipment inventory. So leverage these things to get money. And he literally got hundreds and hundreds of thousands in real usable credit lines, leveraging the inventory and equipment that he already had. Now, if you have stocks, bonds, or somebody else has stocks and bonds that you know of, you can double dip, still leave them invested in the stock market, and borrow as much as 90% of the money that is that's in those stocks and bonds. So something to think about there as well. Okay. Again, I love this because either your dad, your friend, your somebody else in your world could pledge their stocks and bonds, basically invest in your company, earn an interest or some kind of rate of return. And the nice thing is you can get a low interest rate credit line using you or somebody else's stocks and bonds to get financing. If you're an insurance agent or you want to buy an insurance agency, you can use the book of business from that insurance agency to be able to get approved as well. And we already talked about e-commerce inventory financing, which is becoming more and more popular. So now you can see that, this kind of secured financing is secured by collateral can go a long way. What you need to think about is what assets do you have that can be served up as collateral? Remember, even vehicles could be served up as collateral. If you have some kind of asset, chances are good that you may be able to qualify. Now, with credit-based financing, we're going to talk about two kinds of credit, business and consumer. With good consumer credit, you're able to qualify for loans and credit lines, good rates and low fees. And you can do that through business credit cards. Okay, so we can use that through Chase, Bank of America, Barclays Bank type credit cards. We can get term loans. We already talked about term loans, but now we can get them from banks instead of alternative lenders because our credit is good. We can start getting lines of credit. We can get these from our bank. We can get these from SBA. We can get these from alternative lenders as well. And then we also look at my favorite funding program of all time. It's called Credit Line Hybrid. And with Credit Line Hybrid, we're actually able to get up to 100. Let me see. I think I might have that. Here you go. You're able to get up to 150,000 in finance. You can get it as a nonprofit. You can get it as a startup. It's no doc. There's no income documentation. 0% interest rates for up to 18 months. And you could take the cash out of the credit cards at 0%. It's kind of absurd. Our real estate investors use this. They get 100,000 through this program. They take all the cash out of the lines at 0%, and they use it to buy a house to flip, for example. So a lot of different uses for this. You can even use a credit partner. Half of our clients that get approved for this program, their credit's not good, and they use somebody else's credit to qualify as a credit partner. Because with this program, you do need to have good credit. Typically, you're going to be looking at about a 700 FICO score or higher to get approved. Now, you might say, Ty, I don't have that. But that's okay because you can use a guarantor or a credit partner to be able to come in and get approved. Hey, St. Louis is in the house. Thank you very much for coming in and saying hello. Thanks, everybody, for giving me shout-outs here. I'm going to make sure all your questions are answered later. And here's an example. I'm not going to read this to you, but Sam owned a martial arts studio called Dragon Gym. 1973, his instructor opened it. And then he got in the early, about 10 years ago, I guess. So maybe 2010 something. So think about this. This thing was around for 35 years, one location. He came to us and wanted to open a second location in 18 months. We used Credit Line Hybrid to be able to fund that second location and his third location. So instead of him using his profits to open the second location, we got him the credit lines through Credit Line Hybrid. He opened his second and third location within 18 months. Then guess what? COVID hit. You don't want to be in the martial arts business when COVID hits, right? There's no 6-foot social distancing there. So now he launched an e-commerce business selling martial arts stuff and a whole line of gear, of swag. It's awesome. I wear a lot of his swag gear. And again, created new profit centers. Then COVID subsided. Then he opened more locations, and he's now franchising the gym. So this is a guy that had a bit of business, been in business for 35 years, and now he's had it for 10 years. He's got 5 locations, and now, I think 5 locations now, and now he's franchising the thing. It just goes to show when you have financing, what you can do to pour gasoline on the fire, per se, and really expand. So if you have all 3 C's, well, then you need to start qualifying for SBA loans. Now you're getting longer-term term loans, okay? Now you're able to come in and get the money you really want. The loans you really deserve, the 10-year, 20-year, 30-year terms, the 5 to 6% interest, the $300, $500 million in funding. So the key is to have all 3 C's. Well, the key is use a C to get the money you can get now, and then get all 3 C's to be able to get more money through time. So now we also need to make sure that we understand fundability. This is what gets us the best terms. It's what gets us the interest rates. It's what gets us approved, not turned down. There's 5 core elements to fundability: the foundation, your business credit report, your personal credit, your financials and application process. I have separate training on this on our YouTube channel. I'm not going to decode all of them, but I will say that fundability is very important to getting the most money, the best terms, especially the fundability foundation. So all the fundability factors will impact your ability to get money, The foundation covers like the setup of your business, your entity, your EIN, your NAICS code that you choose. It covers your business address, your phone number, your website, your online listings. Then we look at business and personal credit reports. Okay, those speak for themselves. Financials, which financials do you need? Do you need bank statements or do you need tax returns? What are lenders looking at on those things? All of which I have separate training for on YouTube, and even the application process. We're going to save time by applying for the right product and the right lending source. Now, here's an example of the samples. They're very typical, probably like you. They've been turned down for money. They didn't know why. And we just fixed their fundability, tweaked one thing, and then they went back and got approved. So they got denied for a loan, and then they turned around and they got $96,000 in other funding. Then they got turned down for American Express. We fixed one thing, and they went back and got a no-limit American Express card. You know what the one thing is we fixed? This will blow your mind. And by the way, 9 out of 10 business owners have the same mistake. You're probably one of the 9. Okay, and the one thing we fixed, the application data did not match the Secretary of State record data. It's that simple. What they put on the application was the Secretary of State data was outdated and didn't match the application. So when they were trying to apply for credit cards and loans, the computers were saying that they couldn't validate the business existed because what they found online didn't match the application data. We fixed that one thing and they got approved. It's why the importance of fundability matters so much. Now, don't forget, business credit's very important. Okay, it's going to get you more money at better terms. It's also a way for your business to completely fund itself. Startups can get it. Nonprofits can get it. Any entity type can get it. Literally, if you can get no other kind of money, you can lean on this one type of financing to be able to grow your business. You get business credit cards, company vehicles, office equipment, supply, retail inventory, construction materials, fuel, fleet cards, marketing assets. Business credit covers 85% of what you will need to buy in a business. I'm sitting at a desk, my computers, my cameras right here, my iPhone here, my chair, my piano, probably not. My piano too. I can get my piano too. That's like my secret little hobby. But any of the stuff I see right here, all of it I could use business credit to buy. Somebody else said they're in the transportation industry. Your fuel, your fleet, your repair, your maintenance of vehicles, even auto financing to buy trucks, all of which can be used with business credit. So what I'm telling you is 85% of what you might need to spend money for business credit can actually help you get the money you need, even if you can't get other kind of financing. And here's action: $18,000 approval, $15,000 approval. So here's floor and decor, for example. So let me give you an example. With your industries, you're a contractor and you do flooring, right? One of my buddies, Mike, owns a multi-million-dollar flooring company. Okay, he deals with the highest, like the athletes, the movie stars, like that's the guy, that's the people he does work for. This account here, $15,000, is a big difference. Instead of him paying cash for the materials he need, he used credit to be able to buy it. And this works with almost any industry as well. So here we go. Here's a $10,000 approval here at Menards. Here's a American Express approval. I'm not sure of how high that approval amount is. BP for a gas card. Capital One approval here. You get the idea. Here's another $12,000 credit limit here. Here's business credit cards. Don't stop, go harder. I gotta love that. Okay, here's another approval. Here's another one here with OG Office Garner. So I think they do all the office work gears. Even this stuff, by the way, even my shirts was used or purchased based on business credit. So you get the idea. I'm not going to go through them all. You literally can go to our website, creditsuite.com, and find hundreds of actual approvals so you can see what's possible with business credit. But again, the key is that even if you don't have a C, you can create business credit and still be able to get access to financing. And if you do have one of the C's, business credit helps you get more money. So where do you start? Well, really, we just scratched the surface. There's grants that you're able to get for your business. There's venture capital. There's angel investing that you're able to get for your business as well. So again, we really just scratched the surface here, but knowing what you can qualify for can be tricky if you don't have somebody that may be able to help guide you. And knowing all of your financing options is really crucial to being able to stack funding and get more financing for your business. So kind of what do you do? Well, if you don't know each lender and the type of loan they offer, or know that there are multiple types of lenders, some that work for certain industries and not with others, then again, it becomes crucial you figure that out, because finding the right lender is really essential to getting approved for the most money. And that's one of the things that we're actually able to help you with if you'd like help through that process, because we actually have an entire coaching team and software that can actually work with you side by side to just succeed and get the money you need whenever you need it, even improve your fundability and build business credit. So if you don't have the time or energy to go through and try to figure all of this out, and you just want to have the greatest success without doing all the legwork, well, then again, in our tech, you're able to just input a few details and find out all of the money that you can actually get approved for. We'll even tell you what's wrong with fundability, like we did with the samples, to turn denials into approvals. And I'm going to show you right now, if you put together everything that I've taught you today, what it looks like. This is one of my favorite case studies, because I think it speaks to you and it speaks to me. I've been where Josh was, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about his story, but I want to read this one to you, because everything I just taught you today, it ties it all together. And if you can see how it can work and tie it together for you too. So quote, "One thing that's beautiful about Credit Suite is that you start with baby steps. The first thing we did is get a couple of revolving credit lines and store credit. We graduated the gas cards. Then we ended up getting a very nice line of credit at Amazon. Then we worked our way up to a very, very nice SBA loan. Thanks to Credit Suite, we were able to really get our business finances in order from what looks good to potential lenders and potential creditors, and we became very attractive to lenders. The best options are always available to those that have their credit game locked down, and that's what the Credit Suite platforms allows you to do. We've been able to make smart investments in staffing, marketing systems, sales systems, product development, all these things before Credit Suite we just couldn't do. I just don't have to stress out as much anymore because we got money in the bank to take advantage of opportunities. I'm not as stressed anymore. I can keep a bank account that has plenty of cushion in it. And that cushion, just honestly, it makes me a better dad. It makes me a better husband because I'm not stressing out." This is very emotional to me because I have 2 kids and I've been an entrepreneur their entire life. And I can tell you many a times where they're saying, "Daddy, daddy, daddy," when they were younger. And I'm off, man. I'm there present, but mentally I'm off solving another problem, like trying to meet payroll or get the business to grow. And then I've been on the other side where I take all the time in the world to spend with my kids because I have money in the bank and I know that I have credit lines, loans, funding available to help me scale the business. I've been on both sides of things. And I can tell you, I love being present for my kids. I love to leave at 3:30 in the afternoon to go to watch my son's basketball game because I can and I'm not stressed out. I love to be with my kids 100% present in the moment. You will not hear my kids ever tell you that they ever have said to me, "Dad, why are you on the phone?" I know I'm present with them. So I've been on both sides. I've been so not present because money was all I could think about was survival. And I've had a cushion in the bank, and that's where we all want to be. If you listen to Josh's story, he started with what he calls baby steps, and then he describes business credit accounts. He talks about getting his fundability in line, and then he talks about getting an SBA loan. Then he talks about what they did with it, and he's being very humble. We invested in staffing, marketing systems. That's not what he did. What he did was go down a PR company that was doing a measly couple $100,000 a year, and then he built a LinkedIn lead generating company that's doing multiple 7 figures a year. That's what he did with the money. And so that's what I believe for you. It's why I do what I do, because I think that, like I see with Josh and have helping over 50,000 people through this process, you have a vision, you have a dream. And what I've seen is that if you have the money you need to execute on that, you do really amazing things. You solve really big problems and you employ a lot of people. And Josh is just one of many people that I've been able to see do just that. So how do you do all of this? How do we simplify this? Well, as you can see now, you can get money even when your credit's bad. You can get money even if you don't have collateral. We talked about those options. You can get money as a startup, as a nonprofit, if you can't verify your income. You can even get business credit and get $1 million plus like Christine did without a personal guarantee. So all of these things now you see are possible. And I think you're watching this probably because you want the easiest and fastest way to get money. As a matter of fact, you probably already struggled to get the money that you actually need and are looking for a pretty simple solution. So look, I believe as an entrepreneur, you should be able to get the money you need when you need it. But if you don't know the fundability approval standards, or you can't access all funding in one place, or you don't know the fastest, easiest way to build business credit, that holds you back. So we actually have a simple solution for that. It's called the Business Finance Suite. It's the only system in the world that addresses all 3 of these problems. And you're actually going through it working with a concierge coach, similar to the CIA and how they train their operatives. the CIA operatives have this expedited learning curve that's not normal. And the reason they do it is they put a coach right beside you and they help you avoid mistakes. And when you make a mistake, there's an immediate correction. And that's how they literally take operatives and they train them in months what normal people would learn over a decade. And that's exactly the strategy that we've adopted here at Credit Suite with our tech to help business owners get the best results and get them quickly. And honestly, it's why the underlying secret of why we have all the reviews, all the testimonials, all the results we have. So with our tech and our coaches, we work through the fundability with you. We improve the fundability, we build business credit, and we combine this concierge coaching and tech to be able to also give you the easiest way to be able to build business credit. Now, you may be thinking it won't work for you. Maybe you think you can do it on your own. But the reality is, if you could probably successfully get all the money that you needed or get the business credit you needed on your own, you might not be here. Or you might think that you're not ready right now to get started. But again, we've helped over 50,000 people through this process. You're not going to go find complaints about anywhere about our system not working. Think about that. We've been in business 10 years, 50,000 people helped. You're not going to find one person out there that says, I did this and didn't get the result I wanted. It doesn't exist. Because we found the formula to do exactly that. So it does work for every entrepreneur, even if you're a startup, even if you're just getting started, even if you're looking for multiple millions for expansion. And here's how it starts. With our tech and with our team, we build out that fundable foundation for you, setting up your entity, understanding what your NAICS code is, your industry code, and which ones get you denied, which ones get you approved to avoid the ones that get you denied, establishing your business office address, your phone number, your merchant account, your bank account, all the things that make you look credible to lenders, we go through and build for you so you have a really legitimate, high appealing business. This is the difference between, as the sample said in their testimonial, them trying to chase down lenders and lenders just sending them pre-approvals. And I didn't read this, but on the samples testimonial, it says, look, now we have 3 to 5 lenders send us pre-approvals every single day, and that's a really nice problem to have. I memorized that because that's exactly the difference between you chasing lenders and lenders chasing you. It's right here in this fundability. So that's one of the biggest things we do. We get you set up with the reporting agencies. We teach you how your business credit scores work. We help you get your DUNS number for free instead of spending $1,500 to Experian. We help you access LexisNexis and check systems credit report that lenders use that you don't even know they're using and exist, and fix those. We help you fix inaccuracies and update your business credit reports across all the bureaus. We have hundreds of vetted vendors to build business credit with all 3 reporting agencies, hundreds of them. Almost every major retailer offers business credit without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. Best Buy, Apple, Dell, Sam's Club, Costco, Office Depot, Lowe's, Home Depot, even Macy's and Nordstrom. And all of those are available in our business finance suite for you to be able to access. Plus, we have a data team that gets the underwriting requirements and tells you exactly what it takes to get approved. So you avoid getting denied. Look, the reason business owners quit trying to get money is they get denied. And we just took that process and eliminated it. There's zero reason to get denied. We tell you exactly which ones you can get approved for. And the underwriting criteria, we've got 3 methods to make sure you're only ever applying for credit you know you're going to get. So it's approval, 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 approval. And the faster you get the approvals, the faster you get to higher and higher funding amounts. We also have the Visa cards, the Mastercards, the fleet credit, the fuel, repair, maintenance of vehicles, auto financing, all without personal guarantees or credit check. Ally Bank, Ford, GM, Toyota, all of that's available in our system. So you're able to get all of that. Basically just removes any of the guesswork from business credit building. And we're the only place you're going to find every funding option at once. So let's look at Lendio. Lendio deals with multiple funding options. They have 76 different lenders they work with, 76. We deal with 1,000 to give you an idea of how vast what we do is. So we have SBA loans, we have term loans, we have cash flow financing, we have all those asset collateral-based programs we talked about. We have credit line hybrid. That's actually one of our signature products. We created that product. So that's just an example of all of the actual funding that we have. So every legitimate funding option in one place. So think of it like this. You need money now, we help you get money now. You need money in a year, we help you get money in a year. You need money in 5 years, you get money. You never need to look for money again. We work through it, improve the fundability. We build your business credit, give you the largest supply of business credit building, and then also help you get financing through the life of your business. Here's what that looks like. 24/7 access to our tech, our software, the business finance suite, the coaches, the advisors that offer concierge coaching and help you through the process. Help with setting up your business name, your entity, your NEICS code, your EIN, your address, your phone number, your 411 and online directories, your website, your email address, all the compliance check lenders do. We walk through all that with you as well. Bank account, merchant account setup, getting set up with DNB, Equifax, Experian, getting your DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet, your BIN, or what's called your business identification number with Experian. Help you get credit reports with LexisNexis, with check systems, fix inaccuracies across all of your business credit reports. We also give you access to the largest supply of starter vendors you can use to start building business credit. Massive selection of retail credit, fleet credit cards, cash credit, what's known as universal credit. You can use anywhere, a Visa card, a MasterCard, an Amex card, auto financing, and then all of the other kind of loans, cash flow financing, credit-based financing, asset-based, collateral-based financing, SBA loans. It's all available to you with the help of finance advisors that walk you through the process, business credit advisors that help you through the business credit building, and our tech, which actually walks you through it as well. And I've got over $12K in bonuses if you are interested in working with us by the end of the week. And by the way, it's ridiculously affordable because we've got some financing companies that'll finance it for you. And by the way, yes, our financing companies that will finance our enrollment for you do report to the business credit reporting agencies. So they actually could build business credit while you're enrolling with us. Pretty cool. But through the end of the week, we're actually going to throw in $12K of bonuses, and I'll tell you why. Because quite simply, what we found is people that take action the fastest are the ones that get the best results. The ones that go, I want this, I need it, I can afford it, yep, I'm going to get it. Those are the ones that always get the out the roof results. Those are the testimonials. Every single one of the case studies I'm always showing is somebody that took action quick, because that's the kind of entrepreneur they are. They see it, they go, yep, I love that, I want it, it makes sense, it's going to help me. And then all of a sudden, they're like, yep, I can afford it, I'm done. Boom, action. So we want to reward those early action takers with a $12K bonus bundle. And here what it includes. LinkedIn Lead Machine. It's an 18-step cheat sheet to instantly convert your LinkedIn profile from boring into a lead generation machine. Look at my LinkedIn, Ty Crandall. You can look at it. My posts on LinkedIn legitimately have 300 to 500 responses and engagements on them. You can check them out. And that if you look through my comments, these are real people on LinkedIn that are commenting. So I've done it using this exact same system, and we're giving you that as well. My 360 site. This is like, it's basically a digital card and branding site for you. So whenever I go out and people ask me for my info, they scan my QR code and they download me as a contact in their phone. And again, my 360 account has all links to all my social media channels. My website has a video that pops up that actually is a little call to action video, all of my stuff. So it's like the best networking tool I've ever found by the guy that's known as the #1 branding expert in the world, Ray Perez. He's throwing in that for us as well. Business tax optimization. This is Kevin O'Leary's company from Shark Tank. We've arranged with them to give you a tax blueprint for free so they can actually walk through with the guaranteed results to show you how you can save money on taxes. You've got to be able to grow your business. You only do this if you get the message matched perfectly with your audience. That's what this course does with Dolores Hirschman, best-selling author. Also best-selling author Howard Shore, Delegate and Manage Like a Beast. If you want to work on growing your business, not in it, you have to learn to delegate. You have to learn to hire virtual contractors, outside people. It's ridiculous how easy and cheap it is when you figure it out. Howard Shore is going to decode all that, and this training usually charges $800 for. Gino Wickman, best-selling author of the book Traction, one of the biggest, best, most popular books for all of business, and also Entrepreneurial Leap, his newest book, has 11 resources he's giving away, including a 1-2-3 roadmap for startups, My Vision Clarifier, and My Business Match, amongst many others. Recession-proof business bundle. Look, we're getting into what everybody says is a recession. You got to learn to survive and thrive. So we found 10, and this says 5, but there's actually 10 of the time-tested guides, maps, and blueprints to thrive during a recession. We're including that as well. The Super Sales Bundle, 9 courses, guides, cheat sheets, and software for making more sales, creating sales pages, building a sales funnel, writing sales letter, high ticket selling, and creating back-end sales. Look, here's the deal. We've grown an 8-figure business. but we're not experts in all this stuff. Like, we know how to sell, but we don't know how to teach you how to sell. So we're experts in teaching you how to get money. So we went to the gurus out there. Ray Perez, the world's #1 branding expert. We went to the people that create the best courses that teach you things like sales. We bought all their stuff and then bought the licensing rights to be able to give it to you. It wasn't cheap, but we did it. And that's where these bonuses come from, because we want you to have everything you need to grow your business in 2023 once the money is actually in your hand. You're going to spend 30 to 60 minutes with our team going through your fundability to get that in line so we can start turning denials into approvals. A lot of you said you're getting denied. Let's fix that. Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian credit monitoring for 90 days free. The bureaus will charge you $750. Hey, you may be saying, I go through NAV for $27. Okay, not for long. They're actually pulling out of the industry. So again, you're back to paying $250 for credit reports. With us, you're getting it for free for 90 days and $2,700 savings after that, a 9% discount on credit monitoring. Plus, we've got this big bundle, over 30 courses, guides, blueprints, and tools that help you generate leads, brand your business, and you personally market, advertise, build your funnels, product pricing, social media mastery, viral video marketing, and rapid business growth. Any one of these things can help you build a 7-8 figure business. All of them combined, it's like the blueprint, the roadmap you need to succeed. See how much your business is worth at any time, and even what you can do to make it worth more money. So if you look at this, that's over about 12 grand worth of purchase value. You've got about 10,000 plus worth of, or actually that's almost 12 grand worth of bonuses. So that's $22,000, 561 in total money that we're actually giving away. And you can join by Friday, and you can actually finance for as low as $199 through one of our sources. And by the way, everyone is approved. Like, everyone. The only people that don't get approved through our funding source is the one that's currently negative in your bank account. It's the only person. Everybody else gets, you could be in bankruptcy and they still approve you for as low as $200. We've got multiple sources that will finance it for you and report to the business credit reporting agencies as a trade line for less than $300. We can even finance it directly for you ourselves for less than $600, and you get one huge discount and some extra incentives if you're paying one pay as low as $2,997 as well. Now, again, I think you should be able to get the money you need when you need it, but not knowing the approval standards, knowing how to build business credit, or accessing financing in one place holds you back. Well, that business finance suite and our team fixes all of that. And again, with our payment options and finance sources, you could build business credit while financing this and get in the door for a couple $100 a month. It's pretty absurd. And again, we can even finance it for you and give you huge discounts if you're doing one pay as well. And it's also risk-free. Even when you make your first monthly payment, you get access to everything, all of our tech, everything I showed you today, our coaches, all of it, which saves you about 2 years off the business credit building process. And it's cheaper to work with us than do this on your own, because things like not paying for a DUNS number, 411 listings, valuations, amongst many other things, are discounted or free as part of our system. You'd pay many times more than that. And I think this is interesting because I've always said you almost always have to decide between time and money. Meaning, I can save my money and take my time to do something, and it takes a lot longer and I don't get as good of results. Or I can spend my money and pay somebody to do it for me and get better results faster. But this actually gives you both, because it's cheaper to work with us than do it on your own, and you're saving years of time and getting better results. So it's like you get the best of all worlds. And I'm not going to read all this to you, but here's one more case study to wrap up, where Kylan Trower, and I'll just give you one quote. I believe the Business Finance Suite's the best step-by-step paint-by-number system, securing anywhere from 50 to 250,000 in business credit that reports the reporting agencies. What I like most is having access to actual coaches that take you by the hand and walk you through the system. Kylan was a gym teacher, and he wanted to launch his own business. We actually helped him get in the business of offering business credit financing. If you're interested, we can help you get in the business as well. He built a 7-figure business within his first year using the money from the finance suite to fund the business. Pretty cool. I love that. And we help a lot of people get into that space and be able to own successful businesses. So again, a look at all that you're getting, a look at all the bonuses as well, and the actual value here, over 22 grand worth of value. And again, very affordable payments. And if you just right here, at creditsuite.com/consult or give us a call. That's where you can get that free gift I told you about, the 30 days of business credit monitoring, the funding qualification, the no cost finance assessment. All of that's 100% free just because you hung out to this point. Feel free to go to 877-600-2487 and call, or creditsuite.com/consult to learn more about about that finance assessment. And if you're interested in taking advantage of what we talked about this week, you can go to creditsuite.com/webinar and enroll on your own, or you can give us a call as well, and our team can talk through with you, talk to you about our different financing options, go through the right financing source that works well for you. Any way you want to cut it, if you want to work with us, excuse me. We make it really super easy and affordable to do so. And you literally today can be on the phone with our team, going through your fundability, going through the steps of building business credit. Our clients get approved for their initial business credit reports the first week, business credit accounts the first week they're applying. Even if you can't get any other kind of funding, we're still able to help you get approved for that. So if you're interested, give us a call at 877-600-2487. You can email us as well. You can also go to creditsuite.com/webinar to get that 10K plus of bonuses. Now, you're already here, so you already get the bonus, even if you want to bounce out. But I got to tell you something I learned. This is my 2023 lesson that I've learned so far this year, is that I actually used to bounce before Q&As. Now I always stay for a Q&A because I find that I actually now get maybe 40% of my good information from the questions and answer section as I do the actual presentation. I learned that. It took me 47 years of life and 2023 this year to learn that lesson. But I have now learned that lesson, that I stick around for the Q&A because a lot of people ask questions that I'm thinking about too, and I get answers. So feel free to stick around. I want to make sure that all of those questions that you put out there are answered. Only ask them once. I will go through each one of these, and if I haven't got to it, it's because we've been going on for a while, and I'm still getting the questions a ways back. So Jim says, hey, I currently don't have any revenue coming into my LLC. Would like to get a line of credit to start off. 250 to 500,000 is my goal. Is that possible without any cash flow coming into the business? So now, if we look at what Jim's question is here, Jim knows. He says, I don't have cash flow, and he says, I want this much money. So the key here, Jim, is that the answer is yes, it's possible. But now, as you know, the other question is, which of the other C's are you going to rely on? Meaning, do you have good credit? That could get you 150 grand in financing. Okay, so Jim says credit. So that could get you up to 150 grand in financing, which gets you a large way to your goal. The other thing is collateral. Do you have stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs? The other thing is that, think about this for a second. What you're saying here is, what do you need the money for? Okay, so you don't have assets. So you don't have collateral, but you've got credit. So credit can get you part of the way there, 50 to 150 grand. But here's another thing that I will say to Jim and anybody like this, is that we've got to look at what that money is being used for. And let's say we need 250 grand because we need to get a truck on the road because we're a trucker. Well, you could use financing for that. Let's say we need to fuel those trucks. Well, we could get business credit fuel cards for that. So the bottom line is, we want to look at what we could spend this money on. If you don't have cash flow, you don't have collateral, but you've got credit, that could get you maybe 50, 100, 150 grand. Then we want to look at using business credit to buy most of the other stuff in here that you need to buy. So now the goal here is that business credit is most of what you need here. Then the credit line from Credit Line Hybrid could just be cash you can use for other stuff like marketing, growth, payroll, etc. Some things like that. Okay, so again, some things to keep in mind there when we look at this 3C's formula in action and see exactly how it works. So Jess says, hey, does equipment include like a FedEx or Amazon vehicle? So you can absolutely get financing specifically for vehicle purchases. Yes, you can. Now, this worries me, Jesse. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you're stealing FedEx or Amazon vehicles here and using them as collateral. I'm not saying you are, but it looks kind of, as my kids would say, sus or suspect here. But I am saying, yes, you can get financing specifically for a vehicle purchase like that through equipment financing. And Tim says, hey, I was attending working since my partner called in today. My luck, can I replay this? You can. You will be sent a replay of this since you're on the webinar as soon as tomorrow. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. As soon as tomorrow, you will get that tomorrow in your email. Flipping homes, Jim, you absolutely can get the money you need to flip homes. I would start with Credit Line Hybrid. And then I would also go to the fix and flip financing. And my team, here's their phone number, can talk to you about both of those. So you want to rely, based on what you're saying here, on fix and flip financing, and credit line hybrid would be the two funding programs for you. You also want to build business credit, and then business credit will actually be used to fix up the properties that you actually buy. So that's how I would solve that problem. Does Credit Suite take a percentage of the funding amount we get approved for? We do not, nor do we charge you any money for funding. Okay, and this is a very good question. Actually, here's how the system works. If I get a loan from Ashley applies for a loan, and I send it to a bank, okay, the bank will actually charge you less money than they would charge if you went to that bank directly. And the reason is because we get what are called volume discounts, okay? So what I mean by that is that I place tens and tens of millions of dollars in funding monthly. So because I do so much funding with the bank, that bank gives me discounts because they want me to send them more money. And what I do is pass that discount on to a person like Ashley. So we don't charge you points on the front or back end of the loan, no points. We don't charge you interest. We don't charge you fee. We don't charge you a dime to get any kind of funding because the lender gives us like a referral fee. Like if I send you over to a bank A might say, hey, here's $200 for sending Ashley over. So we get a referral fee. That's how we get paid. But you don't pay more money by going through us. You actually pay less because we use the clout and power we have of the volume that we do to actually get better pricing. And Mark says, hey, my marketing business is still up. A startup did about 60K in revenue last year. It's great, man. Good deal. 150, 200K would help me get 5X this year. I have decent credit. My credit utilization on our credit card is higher than I'd like. Could I get the credit line without a credit partner? Okay, you could. Multiple things here, Mark. The answer to your question is yes. You can get the credit lines with a credit partner. We also have a bridge loan that can pay down the credit. So let's say your credit's good, but your credit scores are low because your utilization is too high. Your balances are too high. I just met with this guy today, as a matter of fact, Curtis. We got a lender out there that does a bridge loan that actually pays down your credit cards, lowers the credit scores. Then we send you to your credit line hybrid. Then you use the credit lines you get to pay off the bridge loan. So we do a lot of that, just so you know. So that's something we can absolutely help you with there as well. And Monica says, hey, no cash flow, low credit scores, can get financing. Okay, so let's look at this. We have 3 C's. You don't have cash flow. You don't have credit. The third is collateral. If you have one of these assets we talked about, stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs, 401k, inventory, equipment, commercial vehicle, real estate, any of those things can be worked for you to get financing. And the other thing is if not, then we want to build business credit. That's exactly how we would actually be able to come in and get you financing. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, now I'm going to jump in. I'm going to come back to your questions and answers, but I want to actually get here to the live stream and answer some of the questions that are popping up here right now as well. And Alfredo says, hey, okay, we're going to say, all right, that's Alfredo on my team talking to me. Okay, so let me see here. This is help for starting your own trucking company is what Keith is saying. So Keith says, hey, does this help with your own trucking company? The answer is yes. You can actually use equipment financing to buy the trucks, business credit for the fuel cards, repair, maintenance, everything else you need. Everything else you might need from laptops and everything else to run the business, you can use business credit for as well. And then don't forget, financing like Credit Line Hybrid can give you all the stuff that we haven't talked about. So yeah, this will be able to help you even if you're in a new business as well. Michigan's in the house. Joshua from Maine. Man, you guys just got crushed up there with cold weather. P-Rod Sanders is in the house. Thanks for coming in. And Keith Hankins just happened to run 2 trucking companies also. You guys are talking to each other. Baltimore Rideshare Rental. I love that. Magic Fingers, Fredericksburg, Virginia. Creative Concepts is in the house. Hey, I'm Brittany from Missouri. Permanent makeup artist. I love that. Do lash extensions. So it's safe to say I'm in the beauty industry. I love that. Hopefully you got some good value out of this today. Milani Cleaning Service and Moreno Valley is in the house. Marriott Fabulous in Hagerstown in Maryland. Thanks for coming in. Hello, Tommy. Thanks for coming in from Indy Cloud Clips. Keith, thanks for coming in and saying hi. I'm trying to buy my first Expedite Trait truck, but I have credit issues. Again, you can get equipment financing for that. The other option is you build your business credit. If you build your business credit and have 14 accounts in your business credit reports, you can get auto financing without a personal guarantee and credit check. So some things to think about there. Shout out from Booz Mobile and Tech LLC. I love it. The beauty of business credit is you don't have to rely on your personal. It does help, though. Tyler probably mentioned that. Yeah, and it is true. You have a choice. When you build business credit, you can provide a guarantee in the beginning if you want to expedite some of your results. But a lot of our clients don't. And what I personally recommend is that you don't. What I say is that you're going to have to use personal guarantees to get funding. It's going to happen. But there's times you don't need to. No credit card should you ever need to provide a personal guarantee for. So what I say is save your personal guarantees for loans like SBA when you need them, and don't use them for things like credit cards when you don't need them. So some things to think about there as well. A lot of people having problems with getting denied before. Texas in the house. See, I'm currently virtually live backstage with Grant Cardone and his GrowthCon 23, trying to keep up with you both as my mentors of choice. I appreciate that. Look at that comment. I love it. Let me tell you a funny story about this. My best friend I ran into last night, and he said, "Hey, I'm off to Las Vegas." I said, when did this happen? He goes, "This morning. I realized GrowthCon was taking place. Then I realized it was today. And so I went ahead and booked my flights, got my hotel, and I'm flying to Vegas in 3 hours to go to GrowthCon." So I just love my circle. How cool was that day? He woke up in the morning and said, "GrowthCon, it's in Vegas today or tomorrow." And then literally he flew out last night to get to you. So he is amongst many of my friends that are out here. A lot of people looking for money. We talked about the amount of money you're looking for. Desert Builders in Tucson. I'm an entrepreneur with a master plan. We talked about that as well. Okay, so I'm going to come back here. I still want to get into some questions. We got questions all over the place here, guys. You guys see what I'm trying to deal with to make sure everybody's questions are answered. So everybody, thank you very much. I'm coming in and showing everything so everybody can kind of see everybody saying hello. So you don't think I'm just talking to myself today. So everybody, thank you very much for coming in and saying hi to all of us. I want to be able to get to your questions as well, but I'm going to pop this up on the screen. And you can see, hopefully none of you say any curse words because I'm just showing the comments here instead of trying to read them all so you can actually see. Okay, the professional damage restoration. I love that industry. That's pretty cool. My business is childcare. Okay, so a lot of different people, trucking business, a lot of people in trucking, a lot of people getting denied. Dealt with that problem. Holistic wellness. One of my good friends does that. She's my nutritionist and helps me stay in good health as well. A lot of people, 100,000, 7-figure business, 500,000, 200,000 in revenue, $1 million. I love that as well. So we're all building big businesses this year. This is fantastic. Our needs are modest. 25,000 in funding would get us going. Now, hopefully, you know exactly, Pixel Dust, how to be able to tap in and get that. Lillian, you will get a copy of the webinar if you stuck around to the end. It will be sent to you tomorrow. Need more money to buy vehicles. Remember, you can use auto financing for that. And you can also get that without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check as well. How do I contact your credit suite? Reach out. All you have to do is give us a call. Here's our phone number and email. We could talk to you more about financing. I already talked about playbacks. I know a lot of you are wanting to watch the recording later. It will be sent to you if you attended on the webinar. Do we have a detailed list of lenders? I jotted down a few. It changes often. Hillary, our team will talk to you about that. But we tried this, man. We tried to keep lender lists or vendor lists and lender lists, but they change so frequently that it's impossible to keep up with. Think about it. We have over 1,000 lenders. So to keep up on that every day is just impossible to release lists. So there are no lists that exist out there, but you can get with our team and our team can talk to you about the best source that actually works for you instead of getting bogged down with the list. Which hour's up? You talked about the recording. Does the credit line show on the guarantor's personal credit? It doesn't. Credit line hybrid shows, in a lot of cases, it actually helps you build business credit. So a lot of the credit lines you get actually report to the business credit reporting agencies. Some will report to consumer, but you have that choice. So what I mean by that, Mark, is that usually the lender will say, do you want max money with personal and business reported cards or just business reported cards? And then if you just want the business reported cards, your guarantor actually helps you build business credit in that case. So it's pretty cool. I think it will show off. If it does go into collections, it could report though. You're all right about that. And we talked about the replay. Will it work? Yeah, it can work for a DBA, but the DBA is the front facing part of some entity. So in order to build business credit or get financing, you have to have an EIN number or an entity set up. Whatever the DBA is the front facing of an entity. That entity is the one that will actually come in and get the credit and financing. Okay. We don't help with grants, but I am actually in about maybe the end of March, we are creating a grant course for our clients. So we don't go through the process of helping you with grants, but I'm actually creating 3 brand new courses for our clients. One is for a lot of people don't realize we have a whole library behind the scenes of content that we do not put in the space. It includes all of our challenge recordings for all the challenges that we do. It includes these courses, one on venture capital, one on crowdfunding, one on grants we're getting ready to add in there, master classes from other people that teach things like marketing and branding that they're actually giving free lessons. Sarah, one of them just texted me right now. She's all about building sales funnels. She's producing a whole course about sales funnels that we put in our back office for our clients to be able to access. So we don't help with grants, but we are getting ready to release a course to our clients by the end of March. So if you are a client, that will become available in your education center probably by the end of next month. Do you offer partnership affiliates to sell products for customers? We do. This is actually, do you offer? Okay, we do. We have a partner program, and the partner program allows you to offer business credit financing white label in your name using our team and our tech behind the scenes. And if you go to creditsuite.com, which is right here, /webinar, you get all those bonuses if you enroll for our core program to get business credit financing, or if you enroll in our partner program, which is when you can actually get in the business of offering business credit financing. And feel free to talk to our team because we even have bundles where we bundle up enrollments and all kinds of other things to make it easier for you to launch your own business offering business credit financing as a service. So some things to think about there right now. Signing up tomorrow. Awesome. I look forward to working with you. I think I'm signing up. Altamis, I look forward to working with you. Monica, look forward to working with you as well. Can you put on the program a financing slide? I don't know if I have a finance programming slide, but this is what I think I do have. I don't think I have a slide for that. So if you tell me more about what you're looking for, I could tell you. But I can just tell you about financing maybe this. But this isn't really going to help you. So let me just kind of go through it with you. We have multiple funding options or sources that will finance the enrollment of this program for you. First of all, we can give you payments. But the problem is that our payments are $600 to $900, and a lot of people can't afford that. So now we have outside companies that will finance it for you. Some of them will only offer 6 months financing or 12 months financing. So your payments are higher, but those report to the business credit reporting agencies. You need to have either credit, some kind of okay credit or okay revenue to get approved for one of those. Then we've got our everything bucket, the one that finances everybody over 24 months and 12 months, same as cash. So you could get payback 12 months, same as cash. And there, because it's a 24-month term, the payments are very cheap. It's less than a couple $100 a month to enroll with us. So multiple different options to finance through us. Pay one payment, get a huge discount if you pay one payment. And then you also can go through and build business credit by actually getting financing with sources that report, or even be able to get ridiculously low, affordable payments there as well. Okay, so that being said, hopefully that answers the question. I want to bounce back here now, and I want to come into the actual chat. Okay, so look at this. And this is, I don't make this up, guys, just so you can see this. So this is the actual chat coming in, and I love this. It says, hey, no problem. Credit Suite, I used your program for my trucking company and was able to get over 100K in credit last year. Now I'm trying to see how to get more to scale the company. So give us a call. Let's talk to you more. If you're already a client, you already have access to our advisors to be able to help you through that process. But again, you can see, and you'll see this in every one of these trainings we do. These are just impromptu testimonials from people that use our system. And again, you can go online and see a lot of those as well. But ready, aim, execute. Just give your advisors a call or give our team a call. We could talk to you about getting more financing as well. January, I brought it over 7,000 as a contractor. We talked about that as well. Okay. Being financing host. Okay. Just trying to go through, make sure that everybody's questions are answered here. Hey, Ty, I've been following about a few years now. I'd say about 5 years. I finally set up my business. Congratulations, man. January 2020. Got my first business credit card. Ready to work with y'all. Awesome, Blair. I'm looking forward to working with you. Give us a call. This is a heck of an opportunity, too, because you're starting off the year with about 10K worth of really cool bonuses to help you scale the business. A lot of you say you're looking to do that. And then also, you're going to get access to our new tech, fundability, the new fundability system. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. This thing is going to be live. It's in beta testing now, probably by maybe beginning part of second quarter. Our clients will have access to our new tech too. The new tech actually integrates directly with the business credit reporting agencies. It will tell you what you qualify for based on what's on your actual business credit report. The secret credit reports that lenders use actually pull right into our system. We have a funding match that only matches you with business credit and funding sources you actually can qualify for now. So you're coming in at a great time, Blair, because all that's going to be available with our new system that'll be in your hands in the months to come before we raise the prices, obviously, because of the brand new system coming out. Well, absolutely incredible bonuses for joining, Samuel. I feel the same. We work really hard to go and buy and build relationships with people to give you guys all the value in the areas we don't, like branding and scaling your business. So I'm glad you're excited. Thanks, Samuel. And JD says, hey, my new is Josh too. Josh, I need to, Joshua. Okay, I'm not exactly sure. Okay, I do not want my credit run again. Well, you can build business credit without a credit pull. If you're doing business credit the right way, don't get me wrong. If you go get loans like SBA, they're going to pull your credit. There's no way around that. But business credit, you can build without a credit check easily. That's exactly what our system does. It starts you with starter vendors. They report to the reporting agencies and build an initial business credit report and score. Then you use that to go get more credit, more credit, more credit, and the credit just compounds. And by the end, which the end usually takes about 3 to 4 years on your own, our clients get there in about 6 months or less. Then in the end, you're able to get auto financing, computer leases. Here, I'll actually show you if you don't mind. I'm a visual person, so I find it helps to actually talk about it. So I know what you're saying is, hey, I don't want to do a credit check. I don't want a personal guarantee. So how do I get the money without the actual credit check, without the actual guarantee? Well, we'll talk about that right now, and I'll actually pull this up and show you, because there's a lot of money you're able to get without either one of those, a personal credit check or guarantee. So JD, if that's what you're looking to accomplish, then what you need access to business credit. I'll give you some examples here. So this is our system. It just maps out super simple the steps to be able to build your business credit. And this is the type of credit that's available without a credit check or guarantee. So you can see a lot of bank credit here. You can see US Bank and a lot of other banks in here as well. You can also see a lot of very specific financing. Office Garner, we saw one of those approvals. Maverick, right? Here's a Gulf Fleet. So we're talking about fleet credit cards here. Wayfair, man, they have everything you can buy there. So this is all grocery stores to people that sell office supplies, to United Rentals, right? Office Depot, Home Depot. So you get the idea. This is all the kind of financing and credit that you're able to get without personal guarantees and without personal credit checks. Now, that's not the end of the list. As a matter of fact, we're just getting started. It kind of goes on and on and on. We just help our clients go tier by tier based on what they can actually get approved for. And you can just see that there's just nearly an endless supply of credit and financing. Now, we actually have, and this is where you get shirts, stuff like that, a data team that goes and validates all this data regularly. So what happens is you're able to only ever come in and get credit that you know you're actually going to be able to get approved for. So see how we actually will tell you something's recommended or not. If it says learn more, you don't qualify yet. If it says recommended, you can get it, or excuse me, if it says recommended, you can get it. And if it says not recommended up here, then you can't. And so by tiering it, by telling you what what you can actually get approved for, and then by actually coming in here and listing the underwriting guidelines for every source, you're only ever applying for accounts that you know you're going to get. And this is what having a data team working for you does. You should never get denied because you're only ever looking at accounts that you can get approved for, not wasting your time on accounts that you can't. And then this is stuff you don't ever see because nobody talks about it, because they don't help you build business credit. None of these report to the credit reporting agencies. But all of these will give you credit based on your business credit quality. So you need United Airlines, for example, Chase, American Express is in here. But you get the idea. Our system, step by step, with our data team, makes all of this available to you without guarantees and credit checks. And you can see I'm just a fraction of the way through the list. But I think you get the idea. So when you came in and said, hey, look, I don't want to provide credit checks, you don't need to, JD. That's exactly how you get around credit checks, by building your business credit, just so you know that. And I think you said your name is Joshua, so I'll stop queuing you that versus JD. Good afternoon. Hey, Ty, just received my first business credit card and waiting to get to the next level. It's awesome. I had my business since January 2023, and Blair's one of the ones going to be working with us. I'm looking forward to expediting that for you. New Philly girl. Hey, rough game for you all Sunday, but I thought you had it, by the way. But apparently you're from Philly. Loans to segue into other lines of business for my small business. I need an office and 1 to 2 employees plus a vehicle and laptops. Okay, so this is interesting. I want to pull this up on the screen for everybody watching on live streams. I think it's interesting because everything you described here, you can use business credit for. I need to get an office. Everything in an office you can use business credit for. I need vehicles and laptops. Everything using business credit you could be able to get as well. Vehicle financing, you're able to get HP, Dell, Apple. I think on this screen, we even have Best Buy is in here as well. So as I continue to scroll down, I think you're able to see John Deere, People Ready, Navy Federal Credit Union, all of this without a guarantee and credit check. So there's your laptop. There you go, right there through Best Buy. There's your auto financing right there through Toyota or through Ally Bank. Here's more financing through Apple or UPS. You get the idea. The bottom line is for most of what you're describing you need, you're able to actually use business credit for. Okay, so now I'm rolling back here to these questions. Hey, recently sent in my 8822 form to IRS. Have virtual brick and mortar. Secretary of State has my address update. Would you advise on me waiting until the IRS is updated? The IRS doesn't matter, but Secretary of State does, Jim. So I wouldn't apply for anything until your Secretary of State's updated. The IRS isn't going to be as much of a problem, but you should get that updated. Can you help if I don't have anything set up yet? Yep. As you can actually see, if we actually pull up our finance suite, that's exactly what we do. So in the beginning of the finance suite, we actually help you come in the very first step to set up your business. Now, if your business is already set up, you go through this tier pretty quick. But if it's not set up, every aspect of setting up your business, we help you with in tier 1. So we deal with a lot of brand new businesses that are just launching, get their business set up the right way. And it's kind of funny because I hear all these stories where it's like, hey, I set up my business, got with you guys. A month later, I'm getting money. And my friend set up theirs 3 years ago and is frustrated because they're not getting anything. It's like, yeah, they didn't set up the business the right way, right? So that's all part of what we do to help you get maximum funding. So that's one of the things that we do. And we did talk about the DBA as well. My bank has been open 6 months, some revenue, and a 705. I think my personal utilization is about 55%. BK, are there viable funding options to help? Yeah, the credit line hybrid might work for you. We may need a bridge loan to pay this down. Remember, you can get money based on revenue too. You're probably going to get cash flow financing, maybe revenue, or maybe a credit line hybrid, depending on what shows on the credit report with this. And again, you didn't talk anything about collateral, so I don't know if there's financing options based on collateral, but credit line hybrid's possible for you with this. Revenue lending's possible, or merchant cash advance with this. Business credit's possible. And then again, if you have some kind of asset that could serve as collateral, that may be possible as well. Can I access those lines of credit and funding not being a citizen? Any kind of business credit you can build if you have an entity in the United States. Anybody can. But if you want loans or credit lines, you're not going to get approved unless you have a social. So you could build business credit without a social, but you're going to have to have to have a social in order to get lines of credit and loans. Acquisition, we talked about that. Thank you. I am by your myself succeeding to help. I appreciate it. And we look forward to working with you. How can I add my MCA loan to my business credit report? You can't. They either report or they don't. And if they don't have the ability to report to D&B Equifax Experian, you can't do it. D&B does have a credit builder program. You can ask D&B about it, but it's very expensive, and oftentimes, no, it won't work because they're not going to allow bank credit on there. Short answer, if your lender doesn't report, you're not going to be able to get it added. But it does bring up a good point. It's why we tell clients you should always ask lenders before you get money if they do report, because if they don't report, then you want to go with the lender that does report, but there's no way to add them after the fact. So yeah, it is a lifetime membership. Once you actually pay with us to enroll, you get lifetime access to our finance team and our tech, and you get our business advisors for a year. And that's because you don't need us after a year, Ashley. Like after a year, after 6 months, you're at the end of business credit building with us. By the end of the year, you don't need us anymore for that, but our finance team and our tech is still there for you indefinitely. From Heather Bazemore, I'm trying to start a new business, spent my own money and bought the inventory. I'm stuck because I have no money now to start. Okay, all you have to do is we can get inventory financing to borrow against the inventory you already have to get collateral. And again, you can give us a call to talk more through your very unique scenario. But we talked about all the ways to get money. The question here that I don't understand, you see the importance of understanding the 3 C's. I don't know about collateral based on this comment. I don't know credit. I don't know cash flow. So because I don't know any of that, I can't tell you on what you can get. I need to know that. But any of those 3 C's can work. Business credit could work, and you could leverage the inventory to be able to get financing as well. And by the way, I want everybody to look at this comment because this is very typical of a business owner. I used my credit and got inventory. You never should have. You can get inventory financing for that purpose. You could have saved the credit for other things. This is why knowing all your financing options makes sense, because in this case, we get inventory financing for the inventory. We free up the rest of your money to use for the other things that you can't get specialized financing for. DBA answer. Dana, the answer is that there's an entity behind a DBA. A DBA doesn't have an EIN. Financing and business credit is obtained for an EIN. So the entity behind the DBA can get funding. A DBA can't get funding because it's not an actual business. It's just a doing business as. It's just a name, basically. So the entity behind the DBA can get financing, but a DBA itself can't get financing because it's not even a business. The DBA, the business behind the DBA, it can get the money. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you for all the information, advice, training, and guidance. I'll speak with you soon. Thanks, Heather. Appreciate it. Will this work if I have multiple businesses? It will. A lot of people use our finance suite to just follow the steps, and they do the exact steps for multiple businesses, and 2, 3, 5, 10x their actual approvals as a result. Is there any way to pay for the DBA and trademark? There is, but it depends, again, on whether you can get other kind of financing. So we'd have to have a question with you about the 3 C's you have and use one of those C's as leverage to be able to get you the financing. My business has, and again, these are going to keep coming in as you guys can see here. This is why I keep jumping back and forth to make sure everybody's questions are answered. So I'm going to jump back here to the live stream to make sure. Thank you for sharing this information. Notary signing agent. Awesome. Fingerprinting. I love that. Would this work for rentals for traveling nurses? It could work. Yeah. Credit line hybrid could work for that, Stacy. Visa, MasterCard you use for business credit could work for that. There's a lot of options you can use for credit financing. If you're a traveling nurse, you might want to consider creating your own LLC, then building business credit, and you can use business credit for a lot of things in traveling nursing, including credit line hybrid. So hopefully that helps you there. And Ty, what is a good NEICS for REI? I can't tell you that. David says, hey, what's a good NEICS for real estate? The answer is I don't know, guys. A lot of people ask me this. There are hundreds of NEICS codes, and my brain will not focus on something like that because I don't need to. Like, to memorize every NEICS code is just too much to handle. But you can go to NAICS.com, and a real estate alone, there's over 30 subcategories of real estate you could fit into. And also keep in mind, if you are a client working with us, our advisors will help you through that process. But off the top of my head, I just don't know. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to actually go to NEICS.com to figure that out. And Mike Luffett. Okay, so that being said, coming back here to questions, can you put the program, we talked about that. I'll be signing up on Friday. Amber, great. Looking forward to working with you as well. Does the credit line show on the guarantors? We answer that question. No cash flow, low credit score, no equipment. Can I get financing? The answer is business credit for you. You don't have a C. You don't have cash flow. You don't have credit. You don't have collateral. So in your case, what you want to do, Monica, is build business credit and use that to fund the business. That is your best bet since you don't have another C. Okay, starting a new daycare center, working construction right now. I'd like to buy a dump truck. You can get equipment financing to buy dump trucks. You absolutely can do that. Resident status limitations. Business credit, no. If you have an entity in the United States, you can build business credit. To get loans and credit lines, you do have to have a social. That's just what all lenders require. Be signing up soon, Amber. Look forward to that. How long does it take for financing turnaround? I just opened my tax prep. I currently have revenue this, input, so it depends on the kind of financing. You know, revenue lending happens in 24 to 72 hours. Most other kind of financing happens in 2 to 3 weeks. And business credit, you know, is going to take some time to build. So a business credit every month to get tier to tier to tier. So about 4 to 6 months to get to the end of business credit building where you're getting Visa and MasterCard. You're getting money all through that process. What's the lowest price to get in? You talk too fast. I do hear that quite a bit. That's the way my brain works. I've tried to slow it down. It doesn't work that way. So it's $2,997 is our program. And then there's a lot of different ways you can finance that we talked about. Our team can talk through that with you. And if you just want to see it, go to creditsuite.com/webinar. Creditsuite.com/webinar will show you the price, show you what you get, show you the bonuses, and they'll show you some financing options, but not all. So it's right there. Is the equipment financing based on your personal credit report and debt to income? It's typically not based on debt to income. It's just based on personal credit. And we see clients even with mid 500 scores be able to get equipment financing. I need help with getting 2 used cars for patrol and cannot get funding. Well, there's multiple options there. There's a lot of funding options that will fund you. And there's a way you could build business credit, get 14 accounts in your business credit reports, and get auto financing as well. So there's multiple options there. Feel free, Mavis, to give our team a call and we could talk through specifically, but I've given you an idea of some of the options that can actually work for you as well. With the 3 we have, we're at 132,000. Awesome. Okay. The Dog Bone LLC. I love that. All natural dog treats. Have an LLC, bad personal credit, no major revenue yet. Need business credit. You can do that. Do I need one of the C's? You don't need a C to build business credit. Anybody can build business credit even without one of those C's. I recently started a real estate investment business. I want to start my business credit. My credit's not good, but I have my retirement fund on hand. Yeah, absolutely. You can leverage a retirement account to get as much as 100% financing with like 5-6% interest rates, loan or credit line. And then you're able to build business credit as well. Your personal credit doesn't tie into your ability to build business credit. What do you think about Extension Global for my entity name? That makes sense. That's not going to put you in a high risk category. Can an age shelf corp help you get financing quicker? No, it can't. It's actually going to hurt you because lenders know what you're doing. See, people try to convince you that by buying an aged shelf corp that you have an entity that's in longer standing and it helps it make it easier to get money. But that is not the case at all because the business credit reports show when there's an ownership change. So what happens is when the ownership changes, it redates the actual entity. So these are a complete waste of money. There's zero benefit. If anything, lenders kind of look at them as almost a scam, and they will know that you're doing it because the entity change will take place when you buy the entity. So I would stay away from that. I would absolutely stay away from that. I have several business credit cards with high balances. Is it possible to get funding to pay off the credit cards? It is. There's a bridge loan that can help you with that. So you could talk to our team about that. But usually the bridge loan is more popular. It's usually going to be used if you already qualify for another funding program. So let's say you can get credit line hybrid if you pay these down. Well, then a bridge lender will pay it down for you so you can get the funding to pay them off. That's typically how bridge loans work. Okay, interested in the partner program? Be contacting you tomorrow. Look forward to talking to that. Can we use one of these options to pay for the program? You can't use one of these options well, you can. Yeah, you can. We can help you get funding and you can use the funding you get to pay. We also have multiple financing options where we can finance it for you as low as $200 a month. So hopefully that helps you. You're going to be signing up this week. Awesome, Darren. Looking forward to working with you. Do you have an affiliate program to white label? We do have an affiliate program. It's at creditsuite.com/affiliate. We also have a partner program. The partner program is what you'd want to white label. You can go to creditsuite.com/webinar and look at VIP. That'll give you those details. You can also call or email us and we can talk through that with you as well. If I do the payment plan, do you start the process now or no? The minute you make your first payment, we start the process. The risk shifts to us. So whether you do a payment plan through one of us or one of our financing sources, we give you full access even with that one payment. And what are some examples of high risk category? You can actually Google high risk NAICS. Signing up now. Amber, looking forward to working with you. You can actually Google high risk NAICS. And you can see a list of categories. You want some examples, pornographic stuff and pawn shops, weapon manufacturers or people that sell weapons. There's 3 examples of high-risk industries. Plus, anybody in financial services is considered to be a high-risk industry. So more examples there. And Amber's signing up. I'm looking forward to, again, working with you, Amber. That's awesome. Okay, I'm just going through and make sure I have any other ones. Bradley says, I'm starting a transportation business. Have an EIN, decent credit, no collateral. So in that case, you don't have credit, you don't have collateral, and you don't have cash flow. So business credit's going to be the best option for you. You say, should I purchase a car in my name and put it in the company name? You could do that, but it's not going to report to the business reporting agencies typically. You could also build your business credit and be able to use business credit to get that financing as well. So that's another option that you have there that could actually help you. And Mavis says, hey, my business has been started since 2017. Need to finance 2 used patrol cars and keep getting denied. My suggestion is to build business credit. So if you're trying to get approved for these in the business name, this doesn't matter. See, you're saying, hey, my business has been around to 2017 and I'm getting denied. Why? Well, the answer is because your business credit's not built. That's why. You need 14 accounts on your business credit reports to get auto financing in your business name alone. How long you've been open doesn't matter. How many accounts on your business credit reports matters. So more than likely, that's what's causing your issue. You don't have enough business credit established. Is there any free help with the payment of getting the trademarks? I mean, are there any free help with the payment of getting the trademarks and DBA? I don't know of any free help with that. You can use business financing to pay for that stuff, but I don't know of any way you can get the free money to set these up. So that I don't know about. The free money part, I don't know unless you dive into some kind of grants. You can go to Grant Watch or IRS or you can go to Grant Watch or grants.gov, I think, to be able to get grants. Those might be able to help you. That's the only way I know of to get free money to do what you're talking about. How do we obtain our DUNS number? Is it the same as the cage number from? It's not. The SAM number, what you're getting from the SAM.gov is if you're a contractor. That's not what you need. If you're going to do contract work for the U.S. government, you need that. What you need is a DUNS number to build business credit. You can just go into creditsuite.com/DUNS, DUNS, no dashes, and that'll give you the short link to be able to get your DUNS number. It's creditsuite.com/DUNS, DUNS, and that'll give you the short link for the DUNS number. And you can also, if you're working with us, that's part of our system too. We help you through that process. Can you help with a weed business startup? You're going to be able to build business credit. You can get credit line hybrid. You can get asset collateral-based financing. And once you're generating revenue, we do have revenue lending financing. It's available for you in that industry as well. So that can work for you as well. Okay, perfect. And so I think I'm going to get ready I'm going to actually answer one more question, then wrap up. Rodney says, I have a sole prop since 2008, recently got EIN number. I want to form my LLC. How can I retain my time in business? Sole prop 2008, recently got EIN number and want to form. You can change your entity type. In most states, Rodney, you can just upgrade your entity. I go to your accountant. If I go to my accountant can help me just change my entity with the Secretary of State from sole prop to LLC. That happens all the time. So you can easily update your sole prop to an LLC. That can actually help you there as well. It says we don't see your screen. Did I end screen sharing here? Let me look at this real quick. No, I am looking at my screen. It should be there. That's weird. I don't know. Let me turn this off real quick. Stop screen sharing and start screen sharing. Oh, a window, and we're gonna go ahead and do that right there. Okay, hopefully that fixes that problem. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. And Joanne says, "What's the total cost if you pay for the plan in multiple payments?" It depends on who you finance it through or with us. But if you go to creditsuite.com/webinar, you can actually see what our payment plans are. And again, there's a lot of variables here. Are you getting our partner program? Are you getting our core program? Are you financing through us or one of our financing sources? I can't answer that because there's so many variables. You can see the one pay price there of $2,997. If you finance us through us, you can see the payment plan there as well. And then the funding sources vary. Two of them charge like 3% and 4%. Interest is what they charge. One charges like 21%. So it just depends on which financing option you go with. But our payment plans and one pays right on the site at creditsuite.com/webinar. So you can look at that as well. And I've been a FedEx ground contractor for 3 years. Where can I go to get funding? Gerald, you must be coming in very late to this training because we just mapped it all out. And again, to give you a summary, it depends on if your strength is cash flow, credit, or collateral. Whichever one of those strengths is going to determine the kind of funding you can get. And then business credit building is another option that could work for you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Look, as you can see, the questions will not, I've got to all the end of the questions, but I've held you up now for over 2 hours. So I'm going to wrap this up. You're not on your own though. You can give us a call and we'll answer any other questions you have. You can also send us an email and we'll answer any questions you have. Don't forget, we have well over 10K. I think it's almost 12K worth of bonuses we're giving away by the end of Friday. If you're getting enrolled with us, you can go back on the social platform you are to watch that part, or you can watch the replay tomorrow if you're attending on the webinar. That is only valid through Friday. Friday at midnight, those bonuses go away. Don't get me wrong. You can still work with us after midnight on Friday. You just don't get the 10K plus where the bonuses. So if you want the 10K where the bonuses, you're getting started with us by Friday. Don't forget to talk to our team about getting financing that reports to the Business Credit Reporting Agency, helping you build business credit, and payments as low as $200. That's some other cool things that we have that can help you be able to make it easier to work with us as well. And that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. So don't forget the link, creditsuite.com/webinar. If you have any other further questions, email us info@creditsuite.com. Give us a call at 877-600-2487. A lot of people have asked. Don't forget, this is recorded. If you're watching on the webinar, we will send you the playback tomorrow. If you're watching on a social platform, wherever you're watching this, you can go back and watch it as soon as it wraps up, whether it be on our Facebook page, a Facebook group, our YouTube channel, LinkedIn. It will all be there, so you can go back and watch. And if you'd like a replay sent to you, then email us info@creditsuite.com or give us a call. And don't forget the 10K worth of bonuses if you're enrolling by the end of the day Friday. Look forward to working with you. A lot of you are already in the process of enrolling now or have said you are enrolling this week. So I look forward to working with all of you, because our goal is to help you get all the money you need today, this week, and also in the future, so you're actually able to get all the money that you actually need to grow your business. So that's what we do here at Credit Suite, by improving your fundability, building your business credit, getting financing. So I look forward to helping you expedite those results, get better results faster. And again, don't forget to go to creditsuite.com/webinar or give us a call to be able to talk to us more about getting started, getting your bonuses, and getting the fastest, best results for getting the money you need to grow your business. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Thanks for tuning in. Any other questions you have, give us a call, send us an email. We'll make sure they're answered. Take care. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing with you and working with you direct through the process of